The first player through to Champions League in Series 8 is Tom Sykes.
Would you please put your hands together for the Modus Super Series Week 2 champion, the gentleman, Jim Law!
Your winner of Week 3 in Series 8 from Wales, Richard Eric Rowlands.
Good evening and welcome along to the most important sporting fixture this weekend. This is the Modus Super Series finals night. And as you've just seen, 3 players have already made it through to Champions Week. Another one will join them at the end of this evening. And joining me, Laura Turner and Scott Mitchell, have been casting an eye over the action this week. And Laura, we've got some very interesting, entertaining players on the show tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an understatement, actually. You know, I've seen them behind the scenes. They're all warming up and practicing. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how tonight pans out. And
Scott, yeah, one of the names that we'll probably talk about quite a lot, Richie Burnett. Anything could happen with him on the stage.
He is as mad as a box of frogs, but the Welsh are so proud of him, and why not? You know, if you can't be proud of Richie, who can you be? But we know him as a character on and off the board, and yeah, there'll be something different going on here tonight that we've probably never seen at the Super Series before.
Absolutely. Right, let's just show you all of the players in action this evening. Here are the Super 6 finalists here at the Super Series, and Richie Burnett joined by Andy Davidson, Jimmy Vansky, Mark Durbridge, Shane McGurk and Killian McCormack. And Davidson and Vansky both had really good experiences in the last series. They'll be determined to repeat that this time.
Yeah, and we spoke to Davison last night, and he's hoping to draw on both that experience, and the journey is very similar to what he did when he was here last time. I think for Jimmy, his experience here so far has been a bit different. He seems to have not settled down, struggling a little bit, but I'm sure, you know, tonight's a different night and they both know how to win, and I think they've both got those kind of expectations.
Absolutely. All the players got here, of course, by going through their qualifying groups earlier in the week, starting with Group A, which was won by Richie Burnett on his debut in this Portsmouth venue. And he actually didn't lose a game, Scott, until he'd already qualified. It just shows that the quality of the player.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching from home and see him go 10 out of 10 on the first 2 days, and you think, you know, he's in an unassailable position, and he just kept his head on. And Richie being Richie, once he's qualified, he's like, oh, well, I've done my job. It doesn't really matter what goes on there, and he lost the next 2, but I'm sure he'll be trying to put that right tonight.
Richie being Richie is a good way of describing it. However, sometimes it's forgotten because of all the sort of character around him, how good a dart player he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, at the end of his Group A campaign, he kind of thought that he wasn't playing all that well, but I mean, he won 13 out of 15, and as Scott just said, he very much just controlled the whole group, and you can just see just some of the finishes he had, and just like I say, he was very dominant.
And it wasn't an easy group. You know, he had Andy Davidson, he had Jimmy Vansky in there as well, and he came in as a debutant himself, not really knowing how he was going to react or how he was going to play, and he just came here and absolutely bossed it.
Yeah, you mentioned Jimmy Vansky there. Him and Andy Davidson went into Group B. This is how the table finished up in that group. He's got a good fan club here as well, Vansky, but it was Davidson who dominated the group. Just one loss. It was actually his very first match, so he's going to be the one coming in with confidence, right?
Yeah, and rightly so. I mean, he may have suffered a bit of a disappointment going through Group A, but Group B, he was just all business, head on, absolutely did everything right, and he was just relentless. You know, he was the reason that Charlie Large didn't make it through right at the very end. He just did not relent even once he'd qualified, and yeah, he's bringing that in today.
And the speed that he plays at, I mean, you might be the wrong person to ask, Scott, no offence, but it's incredible that he can play at such a level, isn't it?
I don't know how he aims at such a speed. He's one of those players, he's a rat-tat-tat player, but when he gets the first one right, he absolutely follows it nearly every time. And for one, he's still raw for me. I know he did really well last time, you know, on debut, to then come back and kind of repeat it. I think the fact that he didn't go through Group A has actually helped him to then come and boss Group B, and I think that gives him more confidence for coming in tonight.
Just a quick word though on Jimmy Vansky, because he does have a fan club in the audience this evening. They've turned up to come and see him, and that could be a kind of fourth dart for him tonight.
playing in front of a crowd is so much different to playing obviously behind closed doors like we do throughout the group stages. It can really bring out the best in some players, and I think Jimmy's one of those. I think he'll just really thrive off having that support, having that noise, and he's a performer. He does sometimes play up to the audiences as well. So I think tonight I think we're going to see a different Jimmy.
And that winning experience as well, Scott, must count for something.
Yeah, absolutely. As Laura says, when you're a performer, you want people to watch you play as well. And he's a showman along with being a performer. Some like to sort of hide in the back corner, play really well, win stuff and not go on about it. But he's one of those that he lets you know when he wins, and that's great for the crowd that are coming in tonight as well. And that's probably why some of them are here. Some are here to see Jimmy.
There might have been an even louder crowd had Charlie Large made it through. The 19-year-old player from Portsmouth missed 3 darts across 2 matches to get here. How disappointed will he be not to have made it?
I'm sure he'll be really disappointed, because it's in the group that he was in. To actually get those chances, that's one thing, but to then get them and not take them, it is very disappointing as a player. But there's a lot that he can take from it as well. As you said, he's 19. He's still really fresh to the sport, and for me, he still has a lot of positivity to take from it.
Absolutely, he was brilliant. He was brilliant compared to what his other visits have been. He would look more confident, more assured, knew what was going on, more settled. And I think there's a lot more to come from him on his next visit, without doubt.
Yeah, it was the experienced man that made it in the end, Mark Durbridge, and that experience could count, having won 3 matches last night.
Well, he's one of those, he'll feel that he's dodged a bullet to make it. He will, he's an experienced player, and he knows that he's been rather fortunate to make it. And now he's in. Sometimes you think, well, I can throw hell to heaven, and just go and throw with freedom, and who knows, he could win this tonight.
Right, on to Group C then, and that was won by, a couple of Irishmen. Shane McGurk winning the group, winning it well in the end as well. Only 1 loss for him. Killian McCormack sneaking through in 2nd place, meaning that Jensen Walker and Greg Ritchie missed out. And Laura, it's one of those stories again, isn't it? An ADC qualifier, pretty much an unknown quantity. He's come and he's grown as the week's gone on. Now he's at finals night.
Yeah, he really has. I think the story of Group C was Killian McCormack, because, as you say, started quite slow in Group A, found himself finishing in 5th position, finds himself in Group C amongst those other players as well. And he just stepped up his level, and again, just found that level of consistency and just proved why, this ADC system is really, really working, and proved why he should be here.
Okay, we'll hear from him shortly. He is a player that has spoken about something that you've spoken about before, that he will try and steady himself and not get wrapped up in anybody else's pace. That's an important attribute to have, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the first and foremost, if you win or lose a game, you've got to walk off the board knowing that you've given your all at that time. Sometimes you do walk away from the board and feel the game's passed you by because you've taken too much notice of what the other player's doing. So if he's got that in his repertoire already, it's a good trait to have, without doubt.
Shane McGurk said to me earlier, the only thing that's missing here for him is Champions Week. He is a player who, from what we've seen from him, probably deserves it. It's going to be hard tonight, but he's capable, isn't he?
Yeah, his journey is very similar to that of Andy Davidson through Group B. Suffered disappointment in Group A, came into Group C, and again, just really business-like, knew what the task was ahead of him, and just put absolutely everything in it and topped the table and topped it, with quite some ease by the end of it. So for me, I think he is going to be one of the big dangers tonight.
Absolutely right. A short round robin format for the opening matches this evening. So these are the groups for tonight. Richie Burnett, Jimmy Van Schie, Killian McCormack in Group 1. Group 2, Shane McGurk, Andy Davidson, Mark Durbridge. Look, both groups are difficult, but is there one that you would favour if you were on the stage this evening?
No, I don't like either of them. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't fancy being any of them. I see we've got an experienced player in one in each, so that does make a difference, I think. But yeah, at the moment, you're looking at Richie and how he's prepared himself in the last 2 days is going to make the difference of how he comes out here and starts this evening, I think.
McCormack and Burnett did have a little bit of needle earlier in the week. Could that sort of play out again tonight, or has there been enough games now for that to have just disappeared? Look,
I'll be honest, Richie's up there. Absolutely anything could possibly play out tonight. But in terms of the match, I think it's the first one that they're going to come up here and play. McCormack has had that, had that winning feeling against Burnett, so he knows what to do. I think it's just blocking it out. I think it goes back to what Scott was saying. It's very much about just dealing with the task in hand.
I think Richie will be all right. He's got one of these speakers as his mates up here, so he can have a chat when he wants to. I think that's a massive disadvantage for all the other players.
It may well be. Richie Burnett has been made the bookies' favourite for tonight's action. He is priced at 11-5. Shane McGurk second favourite, then Andy Davidson Jimmy Van Ski just behind him. Interesting to see Mark Durbridge, the outsider, even larger than Killian McCormack, with all the experience he's got and the good night he had last night.
Yeah, I am surprised. I think there is a bit of value there with Mark Durbridge down at 7-1, especially because he went into his group as actual favourite when it started off as well. So it just shows you how, the markets can change based on what they've seen. But as you say, he went in a 105 last night. He was looking very much more focused and in form.
Who do you fancy to be lifting the trophy at the end of the evening?
Do you know what? I got a funny feeling about Andy Davison, I've just got a funny feeling about him. He knows that this is a business night. He's been here before. I wouldn't say he's the most experienced of them all, but I think he's probably one of the most determined. So I've just got a funny feeling that I quite fancy him.
Well, thank you both for your company. You're going to be our commentary team for tonight. And the action is about to get underway. If you are going to have a flutter, by the way, please do gamble responsibly. BeGambleAware.org is 18+. The first match of the evening then is Richie Burnett against Killian McCormack. And I had the pleasure of speaking to both a little earlier this evening. Killian, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. First of all, just tell us how you felt when you realised you qualified.
Oh, I was over the moon. I went down to an ADC and I was playing Niall Cullen. I think it was kind of me final. He's an amazing player. When I got over that line, I just went, wow. And I think I was 96 average or something, but I was in a 6-5 game. He's an amazing player, but I start believing then. And to be here, my God, I can't believe it.
And just talk us through the experience you've had this week.
This week, from the very start, I came in, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't win a game all day, but behind the scenes, the lads, the people I was practicing with, they're absolutely amazing. And Shane McGurk, he set me right in, because I know Shane. I played Shane a few times. I've never beaten Shane, so hence why I put my hands up in the air when I did beat him. I went, yay, lovely. But no, they made me feel so settled. And so quick.
You did seem a little bit emotional when you made it through to finals.
Oh, definitely, because not that I wasn't expecting. I was nervous, but then when I settled in, I know what I can do. But to do it here, my first time trying, and only qualified now at the ADC, it's a dream come true for me. And for me, I think it's just the start of something, hopefully, and I'm going to grow from this.
And the opportunity tonight to play in front of an audience. Richie Burnett, first game as well. You had a few battles with him earlier in the week.
We've had ups and downs, yeah, I know. He done a bit of talking and this and that, but as the week went on, I kind of zoned in, slowed. I'm not a slow player, but sometimes when things aren't going right, I stand back, compose myself, and then go in and just reset, and it might upset other players, but it doesn't upset me, and I'm not doing anything wrong, so it's just, I've gained a lot of experience just in 1 week, and it's just against class players, class.
Well, so enjoy it tonight and all the best.
I will, hopefully. Please God, we'll see how we go, but I'll be ready.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Richie, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. You told us you're going to have a quiet couple of days off. Is that what you've done?
No, I was joking. Just glad I cannot sit down. I got to be doing something, but I haven't been too bad. My missus has come down today anyway to keep an eye on me. So yeah, it's been just been for a meal now and I'm ready to go.
How would you sum up how you played earlier in the week in getting here?
Because it's best of 7, you don't really think you played well. And then you get your mates telling you, man, you're playing out this world. I said, I don't feel like you are. But just happy to be here on the finals night and, just in there with a shout.
You didn't lose a game until you'd actually already qualified. Do you think winning Group A in that fashion gives you the sense, or the other players a sense, of you walking in the practice room that you're the man to beat tonight?
Well, if it doesn't, there's something wrong with them, innit? But, with me, I don't know. It's I could be amazing today and tomorrow, chuck me in the bin. But, it's there. My doubles are going to be, like I've been doing, scoring has never been a problem for me, so it'll be difficult to beat. But like I say, best of 7, anything can happen. You
were very successful in this format in Southampton before you got your tour card back, so it must be a good feeling to have picked it up straight away when you've come here to Portland. Yeah, I mean, like I say, this is great practice. It's been, perhaps that's what I don't do it up, because it shows when I come here I play well, because that's all you can do. All you're doing is practicing. So yeah, I may have to pick up on that in the future. I mean, it's taken me over 40 years, so we've got to be patient with these things.
So, hopefully tonight I'll show it does come at the right time for me.
And if you do get through, Champions Week awaits, £25,000 to the winner of this series. That's a nice incentive, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. When you're up at your legs on it, give us a chance to settle in. But no, it's the same for everybody. So yeah, that'd be great. Lovely, absolutely fab. But let's get one game at a time.
Well, it's good to have you here. Good luck.
All right, cheers. Thanks very much. Thank you, Chris. Cheers.
Cheers, Rich. Yeah, the action is about to get underway here on finals night of the Modus Super Series. Richie Burnett on his live lounge debut, and what a debut it has been for the Welshman. He won Group A, didn't lose a game in it until he had already qualified, but one of the players that did beat him was this man, Cillian McCormack, an ADC qualifier from over in Ireland, having had a difficult start to the week when he didn't win a match on Monday. He managed to make it through Group C later in the week. His opponent here, though, Richie Burnett, has an incredible amount of experience. A 57-year-old Welshman, of course, a 1995 world champion, still going strong, but up against an ADC qualifier in McCormack, who did beat him when the pair met on Wednesday. Magic Hands finally got that victory over Richie after a slightly ill-tempered affair earlier in the week. There may well be fireworks on the stage this evening. Plenty of top quality players, 6 of them remaining from the 12 that started on Monday, but only one will make it through to Champions Week. Who will it be? We'll find out over the course of the night, which will be narrated by Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you,
Welcome
ladies
everyone
and
watching
gentlemen.
us
First
on our
leg, it's
Modus
Richie to throw
YouTube
first.
channel.
Game on!
And there's your referee, Jack Garwood. He will be dealing with proceedings throughout this evening. And as Chris just mentioned there, interesting dynamic this match, because Richie Burnett obviously very dominant throughout Group A, but he had those 2 losses after he'd qualified, and both the losses
65
are against the opponents that he's facing in these group stages.
Yeah, it's funny how the draw works out like that sometimes, Laura. And yeah, there's been a heated exchange between the two at a point this week as well. And it's been a nice hot day outside today, and we're expecting some hot action in here this evening at the live lounge. The scene is set. One of these guys goes home with a nice check and a champion's trophy.
121.
Who will it be?
Yeah, it's just another one of those groups, isn't it, that you could actually see any one of the 6 players stepping up and lifting the trophy at the end of the
58.
night. But I think Richie Burnett definitely going to be one of the crowd favourites, along with the likes of another one of his opponents in this Group 1, which is Jimmy Van Skeet.
Absolutely, yeah. Richie Burnett, he's got more stories, honestly.
40.
If only he could stand still long enough to do after dinner speaking. The man has a lot of money to be made with some of the stories that he has, but I think my favourite is the one where he didn't have enough hot water for his pot noodle and he took the radiator key out and filled his pot noodle up from the radiator
79.
in his hotel room. That was lovely.
Yeah, I've heard that one on a few occasions. I think he described it as rather unedible after he attempted it.
Yeah, there's a little stuff called Fernox that stops the water going rusty in a radiator. So and it's in your whole boiler system. But yeah, enough of boiler systems. This is all about darts tonight. I'm getting too technical.
Yeah, we can give everyone just a little bit of time before we start talking about alternative things. But I will say this is a steady start here from Cillian McCormack.
94.
Yeah, he's been very impressive at times, and other times you expect him to be more impressive, and he hasn't been. But the one thing we do know is when he gets down to that double,
140.
he tends not to take too many darts
Cillian,
to
you
get out. It's
require
one of his strong parts of his game.
Yeah, the reaction there tells you that's not in the treble. So just looking to tee up
44.
and pulls it into the
Richie
four. So
require 95.
140 from Richie's put him in a good position here. It would be a holder throw. Yep, double eight's the target.
Game
And the
shot
target
on
is
the first
found.
leg, Richie Burnett.
Well, maybe he has been practicing for those last few days and he hasn't been telling us.
Second leg, it's Killian to throw first. Game on.
Nice, lovely little 95 shot to settle himself down at the start of the evening.
100.
One thing I have noticed about Killian McCormack, he said himself, obviously, he was very nervous throughout that, the start of the week, and understandably so when this is such a new arena to someone. Got the support from the other players, and I will say he's got
40.
better and better as the week's gone on, and obviously very much deserved his place here. Finished second in Group C, behind his fellow Irishman, Shane McGurk.
And if you could choose a way to do a
140.
week here, that is the way to do it. Start slowly and finish well at the end of the week, because it's the end of the week where the big prizes are handed out, and that's the way round to do it. You can kind of
60.
get away with being a bit nervy and a bit sort of slow out of the traps in the early games, but by the end of the week you have got to been used to this place. It's quite strange because like this evening, if you play during the week, you can
60.
hear an ambulance go by outside. It's you can hear a pin drop in this place, and then by finals night with all the crowd in, it makes it a very different place to play.
108.
Yeah, there you can hear that support for Richie Burnett as he fires in the first 180 of the match.
Yeah, once again, this is a whole different
41.
experience for Killian.
And as Chris said, he was quite emotional at the fact that he'd actually managed to get through Group C. Notoriously a very difficult group to get through because only 2 out of 6 players will progress. And
83.
it was tight, but
Killian, you require
he
160.
was really, really businesslike about how he got into this Saturday night final.
$140. Richie require 138.
So can he bring his first ton shot out to the evening? He'll just set it up with a 98. Be sure of the
98.
18.
Killian, you require
Cormac now
20.
under pressure to take his first leg with throw.
Game shot on a second
As we
leg.
said earlier,
Killian McCormack.
it's one of his strong points. That doubling on the outer ring is just super.
Third leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, McCormack in a few of his games was either 4 from 5 or 4 from 4 at the outer ring, and
140.
it got to a point. Basically, if he had a 3-dart outshot or 3 darts in hand, that was going to go.
Yeah, but he stood behind him and ready to shake his hand. I think we've all been in games where we've
60.
had that happen to us. Horrible as it is, you've just got to be appreciative.
Oh, 100%. Just wish it happened to kind of us
Yeah.
more. We were the ones dishing it out.
It probably does happen to us, but we don't
60.
remember it. You just think, oh yeah, I won that. You don't remember how we did it. That's why we're dart players that are so long in the tooth. We forget everything as fast as it happens.
Hang on, are we starting on this already? Speak for yourself, thanks, Scott.
I am really.
66.
No, I'm mentioning it now because Richie's 3 years older than me, and I was called old boy in here on Thursday, so I'm not having it.
No comment.
Thank you. I am the old boy.
100.
Then I'll leave it there.
$42.
Yeah, so far the match has the feel very much of going with throw.
150.
Yeah, not quite the intended target, but Killian McCormack all the way back on 3-3-3, making no real inroads in the leg.
81. Richie require 51. Game shot on a third leg. Richie Burnett.
Nicely converted. 3 holds of throw early doors.
Fourth
Exactly what
flag.
you
It's
want as a
Killian to
player.
throw first. Game on.
Well, someone's definitely got the hit the dart on the first, hit the double on the first point of trying, because both of them at the moment are 100% on the outer ring. Richie Burnett averaging just over 93. Killian McCormack actually 10 points off that, but I think most of that was because of the last leg.
$140.
I played Richie recently in the Challenge Tour, and I'd never played him before. I can't recall ever playing him before all this time, and yeah,
80.
he absolutely mesmerised me. I thought, I'll give him a watch and see what he does, and that was the worst thing I could have done. I needed to look at my own feet and count my shoelaces or spots on the toes of my shoes. I did not need to be watching what he does.
100.
A few occasions he sort of arched his back like a ballerina, and his leg went up above his head, and it was and he was still hitting treble 20s, and he was just stood there going, how on earth are you doing that?
Yeah, I guess the technique you could describe as unorthodox. You don't see it from many players.
The technique is unique. That's exactly what it is.
Unique, but very, very effective, and using it to good effect here.
I don't think he went along to the Dozer School of Darts and got taught how to throw like that. That's
60.
for sure.
Richie require 161.
Yeah, well, both down to 161, but Richie with the slight advantage as Killian did start the leg, and he's the first to attempt it.
We're looking for some sort of treble visit here.
65.
It's not a bad dart,
Killian, you
aiming
require
for the ball.
161.
The reason he does that is turn the corner, so he gets one dart at treble 20. McCormack not liking the lie there. He's had to move across to try and slide under that dart.
59.
And interestingly, he
Richie
didn't choose the
required
ball route.
96.
And you can see by the scoreboard, that is the difference result. 102 is a very much a difficult shot, more difficult shot than 96. And this is why Burnett went that way.
78. Killian, you require
You can see what Richie thought about
102.
that. Not happy. And these have been game-changing moments for Killian McCormack. He's been able to take these out.
$72. Richie require 18.
You can't get any closer than going in,
Game shot
surely.
on a 4 flag, Richie Burnett.
And that's a breaker throw, and he knows it.
Fifth flag, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Richie, one of those players, I guess you just don't want to stand quite, not done too close behind that back leg. I've seen it a couple of times already tonight, as we see there.
21.
And I wonder now we're in the final stages whether those nerves have kind of kicked back in for Killian McCormack, because again he's now finding himself in a completely
66.
different type of environment, playing in front of the crowd, in front of the cameras, perhaps a bit edgy.
Yeah, it's hard enough up on that stage when you're trailing and there's nobody in there. Knowing there's a fair few watching on the
60.
YouTube channel, but when you've actually got a crowd in there and you're trailing, and you may have one or two of your loved ones in there as well who've spent the time to come and see you, it does make it a very different game.
98.
I think that's a big thing actually when you've had people travel to actually come and watch you as well. You're no longer kind of doing it for yourself. You're trying to do it for the people that are supporting you. And that adds a different dynamic.
140.
Yeah, some players that really does work for, and other players it really does put them under the cosh. And I remember one of my first Lakeside when I must have had 30 odd 40 people there, and I absolutely bombed. And that's the most horrible thing.
Snap. I know that, lived that awful feeling.
83.
Yeah, the one thing you can't accuse Richie Burnett of is having a poker face.
No, he tries to let you know how he's feeling, and he's hitting 140s and he's gutted. And I've stood behind him going, I'd be so happy with that.
83.
The body language of McCormack now says he feels it's done and dusted, even though he's in front.
$139. Killian, you require 154.
Big ask here for Killian McCormack goes. A more traditional route.
58. Richie, you require 58.
Double 10 for the match.
Game shot.
Tidily done
Richie Burnett.
by Richie Burnett. So there goes our first match of the evening. Richie Burnett has 2 days off. We wondered what he'd be like when he came back. And he gives a little dance. There's young ladies in the crowd. Here come the averages, just shy of 90. McCormack dropped off a little on 80, but it was all about that big shot to break the leg, that double 9. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with you with another game from Andy Davison and Mark Durbridge.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they can reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
Well, what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only
needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
Game shot on the third leg. Reece
Is that
Robinson.
the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Ross Smith, is it
Darius
a
Labanowski.
9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot.
Oh, he gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Just like
Darius
that.
Labanowski.
only needs the one. There you can see.
That she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great guide.
Shot on the first leg. Andreas
It's a
Harrison.
breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
Shot on the second leg. Cam Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw. Double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where it is finals night of week 4 of Series 8, and Richie Burnett has got off to a winning start, a 4-1 success against Killian McCormack. Something for the ADC qualifier to hold on to, maybe the fact that Richard Eric Rowlands actually lost 4-1 in his opening match last week and then went on to beat the same opponent in the final. So he will still hope to get a chance to go through. We'll see him and Richie a little later, but now the opportunity to get Group 2 underway. It's Andy Davidson, who as an ADC qualifier won his week in the previous series. He takes on the ever-experienced Mark Dudbridge, and I spoke to both players earlier on tonight. Mark, back here at finals night, just give us your summary of how it went the last couple of nights for you.
Yeah, I think a bit of a shocker on the first day. Didn't play well at all. And I felt the damage was done. I thought 3 wins on the next night might give me a chance. That was all I was clinging on to, really.
And that's what you got in the end, but there was that last match where you had to hope Andy Davidson won. What's it like in that you're not on the stage, you're in the practice room waiting?
I was already gone. I was in the car. I mean, I can't have any influence over that game, and what will be will be. I think Charlie missed a couple of darts, didn't he, to knock me out. And yeah, gutted for him really, because he's a nice lad. But he's out, you're here. Obviously, having had that run last night to get here, how confident are you of going all the way this evening? Well, I've had 2 days practice now, so I should be a bit better. But some tidy players in there. They're all young. They're all keen. Maybe a bit of experience. We'll see. Be nice when Richie rocks up, so we can have a bit of a reminisce. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it.
And how important or how big a target is it for you to win one of these Super Series weeks?
Well, there's a lot of pressure on us seniors now, because obviously Richard and Jim and who else got through from the seniors? They all seem to be winning these. And yeah, so there's a bit of pressure from that point of view.
Well, hopefully you can use all that experience tonight. Good luck.
We'll see how it goes.
Cheers. Andy, back here at finals night. Great memories from when you got here on a Saturday before. What's it feel like to have this experience again?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The fact that I've mirrored my Group B performance from last time means I'm good and confident, but I'm also confident that the other 5 players will feel the exact same. So, as I always say, I'll just see how they go again tonight. You mentioned to us last night as well that you've got some people here from Scotland to watch you this evening. How much of a big support is that for you? Oh, it's magic. I mean, I must admit, it's going to be interesting how I deal with that first game. You know, that I will have a few folks shouting on for me tonight. It's great. It just fills me with a lot more confidence that I can go up there and hopefully do the business. Just talk to us a little bit about how you think your achievement here at the Super Series has changed your career and made you more well known as a darts player. Yeah, well, it's changed everything. I mean, 2 months ago, nobody knew who I was. I'd had sort of, you know, I'd occasional moments where my good games shine through, but never on a consistent basis. And now I feel like I almost have that consistency, and hopefully we'll do the damage this evening. And in terms of the week, mixed bag really in Group A, but as you mentioned, mirrored that Group B performance, dominated that group really. How do you feel that you can take that momentum into tonight? Well, I think that's crucial. You said it, momentum there. The fact that I have played really decent the last 2 nights, there's no reason why I can't go and do that again this evening. Well, good luck. Enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Oh, it doesn't matter what he does. If Andy Davidson does things like that.
Round off a near immaculate display. The bullseye. To finish in style.
Well, this is Scott against the Scott, and this Scott is doing remarkable things.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. 164.
Yeah, Andy Davidson had great success last time he played on a Saturday night. As he said himself, barely a household name in his own household, but everybody knows who he is now. The Scotland flags are flying for Davidson this evening as he takes on Mark Dudbridge in the opening match of Group 2. Both players coming through Group B, so have played each other on the last couple of nights on that Super Series stage, but without the support of the audience, many of whom have made the trip from Scotland to cheer for Edinburgh Arrows ace Davidson, winner of week 11 of Series 7. Mark Dudbridge, well, Davidson kind of got him through by beating Charlie Large in the final match of last evening. Did beat Dudbridge twice, 4-2 on each of Thursday and Friday night, but he might regret bringing him through with him if Dudbridge can turn it on and defeat Davidson here. Let's find out if he can in the company of Laura Turner and Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, very interesting matchup this one with
First leg, it's Andy to throw first.
Having a head-to-head
Game on.
count, but that counts for nothing now that you're here at finals night. We know it's time to not leave it in the practice room. It's time to bring it to the board.
Oh,
100.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think Andy Davidson's going to be up for this. We spoke to him briefly after he qualified last night, and very confident. This is a very similar route to his that he took when he was here last time, when he won that week. Missed out in Group A, came through Group B, but one key difference he did mention
58.
to Chris and myself was the fact he didn't have support here last time, and there's a big Scottish contingent that's come down to cheer him on.
Well, as he said, nobody even knew him in his own house, you know, then, and nobody would have come down. Who expected him to win the week and then, you know, go on to it? It was just a fairy tale for him, absolute fairy tale.
83.
Yeah, I kind of I liken him a bit to Tom Sykes and Tom's journey here as well, because he really hit the ground running. There's certain people that just seem to come here at the Super Series and find their feet very quick.
45.
Yeah, absolutely. I was playing with Tom at the internationals last weekend, and for England, and yeah, he's one of those really infectious characters, and he looks very quiet on the outside, but once you get to know him and he drops his guard, he's just a great guy to be around, and you can see why. You know, talking to him, he's telling me about his practice regime and how often he practices, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's one of those things that you come here, they're playing serious darts here for serious amounts of money, and they're taking it seriously.
I can imagine his practice regime probably puts us both to shame.
Yeah, that's just 2 nights. Would put our monthly regime to a shame, I think.
81. Andy, you require 78.
Well, obviously, I'm a lot older than you, so my practice regime be very different. Relying on mental.
Game shot on the first leg. Andy Davidson.
Tidy finish from Davidson.
Second leg. It's Mark to
Those
throw
are the
first.
ones that settle you down. There's one dart at a double and you get it.
Yeah, and he looks really confident, Davidson.
45.
Dubbridge did take a little bit of time to settle into his group, and was quite, I guess he would say, fortunate. Played very well yesterday, but had a lot of work to do, and it was kind of through the benefit of others that he actually claimed third spot and got through.
I had a similar experience on one of my visits. I was
100.
I was in the public house next door, and somebody came in and said, "Oh, you got to stay for tomorrow night now," and I'd just started to drown my sorrows and
60.
had to hand it back and head off and arrange staying for another night. So, yeah, no, and it sounds like Mark had a very similar ilk. He was halfway back to where he was staying in his car.
60.
Yeah, but I like what he said. He's right. We do see players, obviously, they stay here and they kind of want to watch the game and see it play out. But like you said, you can't influence that outcome. You're here soon enough.
No, I've got to say, the ironic thing was I thought I was out, and the little bit of drink that I had, I gave to the
59
fella before his game, because he was going home on the train and he was bottom of the group, and he went on and won, and
58.
yeah, looked like I'd given him a nice little well done before he'd even done it.
99.
And there was a key element of Mark's game that he got really right yesterday, was that ability to follow that first start, as we just see Davidson do the same.
138.
There's a lot of pressure on this 138 for Dubbridge.
He's been like that for the whole of his career. He seems to have his back up against the wall, and a lot of the times he gets himself out of it with his bounce back ability. You've never really got this fella
83.
until that last dart goes in, and that's why he has longevity in the game.
Game shot on the second leg, Andy Davidson.
Yeah, there's no hanging about there from Andy Davidson. Races to a 2-0 lead.
Third leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on.
You seriously would think he'd been playing a lot longer than, at this kind of level.
100.
No, absolutely, and there are others very similar. The likes of Cam Crabtree have only been around a couple of years playing since lockdown, and yeah, they've just come into the game and
59.
Take to it like a duck to water in this situation, and yeah, the experience you get here in this type of atmosphere
140.
probably took me 5 or 6 years to learn on TV. having to qualify for Lakeside or whatever, and these guys get it in a week here. The amount of games and the amount of pressure they're under, and in front of the lights and the camera, they get it in a week. What used to take us old folks a few years to get that experience.
I used to say the same thing myself. It was just that kind of one time a year. You hoped it would be, for a bit longer, but the hard work when you get to places like Lakeside is done throughout the year to get to that place, and that adds that additional pressure as well. And I guess for the ADC qualifiers, they're doing all their work on the floor, out on the vault competitions, through the qualifiers. They want to make the most of it when they're here. 96. And I will say Davidson and McCormack both doing that.
170.
Yeah, and this is the thing with the ADC. There's an end product to what they're doing, and that's here.
94.
And I just think it's marvellous. You've got to have an end product to whatever system you're trying to implement, and they certainly use the Modus Super Series very, very well indeed
76.
in how they get people here. And now ADC Europe's getting big. We're getting South Africans in as well.
Third leg, Andy Davidson.
Andy Davidson here, playing like the veteran.
Fourth leg, it's Mark to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, there you see Davidson 3-0 up, 3 from 3 on the outer ring, and he's completed that in just a smidge over 6 minutes.
93.
Yeah, and on your first game, you don't want to go down too heavy. It's not bad going down 4-2, 4-3. Because then with your second game, it gives you
140.
half a chance, but to still be in it. But you really don't want to go down to 0 here.
84.
No, because then you're very, very reliant on favours.
I've noticed a change of footwear from Mark Dubbridge. He was wearing shoes on Thursday night when I was here on commentary, and I see he's wearing a more traditional trainer.
100.
Wonder if he did the old thing and bought new shoes to come down, and then they've crippled him.
Yeah, that does happen. He was wearing them
95.
last night. You can see him there. Yeah, no, he was in them last night. So obviously did the trick yesterday.
80. Andy, you require 170.
Well, there's one. Can't find the second, so Dubbridge with an outside chance here of the 144.
144.
Actually had a shot at a double yet, Mark Dubbridge, been denied by Davidson. And that was wild. Looking for the double 18, pulls it into the 1, so 65 here for Davidson.
45.
Yeah, and a rare miss.
Mark, you require 35.
Dubbridge back here, 35 required.
Well, you always aim for the big 3 and try and make sure, but that's the biggest 3 you can get is double 3. So 29 now. He'll head off to the 13, I would have thought. Nearly does the same. It's now double 8.
27.
And puts it right on the wire, just the same.
20.
You can't see this being missed.
Game shot.
Absolutely spot on.
Andy Davidson.
Andy Davidson takes the match 4-0. Dubbridge really didn't get going there and get a chance to use his experience. Andy Davidson was on top of him and was in a 2-0 lead within minutes. A 91 average to boot. As you can see from Dubbridge there, really didn't play his game. But Andy Davidson won't be worried about that. He's through. He's won 4-0. So he's got points on the board in his group. We'll head off to a short break and we'll be back with Killian McCormack versus Jimmy Van Schie.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. Match starts to put his team
into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is, Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosch.
Pie Face is through. He gets
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the action here at the Modus Super Series. A 4-0 win for Andy Davidson of Scotland before the break there. Mark Durbridge with work to do, as has Killian McCormack. He lost his opening game 4-1, but if he wins this one 4-0, that will put him through. His opponent in this game is a Dutchman, Jimmy van Schie, who won on this stage. He's got a bit of a fan club in this evening as well, and he did win on this stage last time he played on a Saturday night. I think we're going to hear from them a little bit more this evening, but let's hear from him first. Jimmy, welcome back to finals night here at the Super Series. First of all, just try and sum up how you think your week's gone in qualifying.
I played all right in the first day, I think. 4 times 90+ average. Second day, I played less good than the first day, but I managed to get 3 wins as well. And then the last day, there was a bit up and down, but I won 4 games, so happy with how that was going. And then the first day of Group B, I had a good start, 3 wins, played some quality darts. And then yesterday, I was thinking a little bit too much to qualify and looking to the screen, and shouldn't have done that. Should just play my game, and but eventually I went through, so happy to be here again. Yeah, and how important is it for you to be back here after the experience you had last time on a Saturday night? Oh, I loved it. To be fair, I don't want to put pressure on myself. Every time I come here, it's like a new challenge, and they're all quality players here, and I'm very happy to be with the last 6 now. That was one of the most entertaining Saturday nights we've ever seen. You're involved in a 9-dart shootout, went on to win it. Great crowd here as well. How difficult would it be to not sort of be thinking about that when you're on the stage and focusing on this evening? That's a difficult question. Let me think. For me, it's just a new challenge again. I know I can win it, and I just need to play well, and I'll see what happens then. I hope the crowd is behind me again, but if it's not, then I still try to win. Having tasted that success before and having had that experience, is it something you've been really desperate to experience again? You know what, if the crowd loves me, they love me. If they don't like me, then they don't like me. I just have to play my game, and of course it's way better when the crowd loves you, but it's all about playing my game, and if the crowd backs me up, it's a bonus. Of course, different week, different opposition. What's your assessment of the strength of the field this evening? They're all quality players. I know I have to play well to beat them, and if I play well, I will beat them. That's how I need to think about it. But good luck, enjoy it. Thank you. Top man.
This is madness.
Oh, this is exceptional. Absolutely outstanding.
The double 7 is found by Jimmy, who is now top of the table on his own on points.
It's Jimmy van Schie!
Well, how to win friends and influence people. That was a case of that when Vanski was last here in Portsmouth, and I think it's safe to say that he certainly has got the crowd on his side this evening. Plenty of fans here to watch Jimmy play up in Pompey once again, and a victory in this game would see them get their wish. He would go through to the semi-finals with a game to spare, along with Richie Burnett ahead of their battle for top of the table. Of course, Killian McCormack can stop him with a victory himself in this game. Magic Hands, who apparently is nicknamed that because he can turn those hands to anything. He can decorate, he can paint artistically, and he's not too bad with the arrows as well. The 37-year-old Dubliner looking to bounce back from that defeat in his opening match when he was beaten 4-1 by Burnett. That means if he beats Vanski 4-0, he would be through himself. But the 30-year-old Dutchman who won Week 6 in the previous series will be straight through with a victory here. And with that, I will hand you back to our commentary team of Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. Yep, plenty of work for Killian McCormack to do after that 4-1 defeat by Richie Burnett. And he has shown signs that that is what he can do. I mean, in their head-to-heads between the pair of these two over the week, it is 2-1 in favour of Vanski. But
first
I will say for Jimmy,
Killian to throw
Killian was on the up as the week went through, whereas Jimmy seemed to start struggling slightly. But I'm just wondering, with the support that Jimmy's got in the crowd, whether that's just going to lift him. He's been here before, he's won a week, and he does like to perform. I think we might see a bit of a performance here from Jimmy Vanski.
Killian a little bit unsettled here. Wanting total quiet before he throws. Dancing along the hockey here on his first throw.
28.
He's just given a nice little signal to the Vanski followers here in the crowd. So something he obviously overheard.
Yeah, Jimmy's gathered that bit of a following since he was here last time.
55.
That wonderful interview that saw him being asked to count from 1 to 5 to test the mic, but counted the numbers in his own head, which just kind of went a bit viral for a while. So
55.
I can understand it.
It went viral. It gave him a few followers and a few new friends, and he hasn't looked back.
100.
Slight variation in stature here between the two players, causing our camera crew to be right on their metal this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of lose the top half of Jimmy Vanski when Killian McCormack is throwing.
$125.
Yeah, good recovery there. Wasn't happy with that pull into the 5, but recovered well and was in a commanding position in this opening leg.
55. Jimmy, you require 81.
12 after 81 is not too shabby anywhere. We'll go 12 or treble 12. Went a bit full on that. In that situation, you have to sort of try and make sure you go half-heartedly at the treble, don't you? And make 49. Sure you hit the 12. But
Killian, you require 123.
With a chance to silence the crowd here. Same can be said there. Went for it a bit too full on rather 45. Than making sure of the single.
Jimmy, you require number. 32.
We'll soon know if Jimmy hits this or not, I think.
Yeah, I think they might hear it back in Holland.
And
there you hear the roar
Jimmy
of the crowd as Jimmy does find 32.
Second leg, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
And Killian did say in his interview a bit earlier on tonight that he wasn't one of those players that would be rushed. You know, he wants to take his time.
60.
He is very methodical in terms of his approach, but I will say this, like I say, this additional element of playing against the crowd. He's obviously playing pretty much, I'd say, looking at the list of players that we've got, barring maybe Andy Davidson, he's got the 2 crowd favourites in his group. And that's a challenge in itself because you're playing not just the player but the crowd as well.
And that is super hard. It is super hard. Done it a few times.
32.
Had it at Circus Tavern with Lisa in the World Seniors this year, and that was not the fact that they were going, come on, Lisa, they were saying personal things, which is horrible. I know they want Lisa to win. Everybody wanted Lisa to win. Probably only me and my missus didn't want Lisa to win. That was in that whole room. And you know that when you go into it with experience, but it's so hard to play against.
$85.
Yeah, just a few loose starts. I think with Jimmy Throw, it's very powerful. Has to get it really spot on, or you will see a few fly into the 5s and 1s.
81.
He's probably one of the only players I know who's thrown down at the treble 20. That's the thing.
Yeah, there was an irony when he left double 3 midweek throughout these matches because, yeah, probably not his ideal target.
140.
Yeah, little Richard Ashdown's favourite double. He's had a career on that, Richard Ashdown, doing exhibitions with varying players and walking out. He did it with
26.
me twice. Took the dart out of my hand when I left double 3, just like this. Doof. Brilliant.
$100. $60.
Yeah, that's mightily
Jimmy
unlucky
require
there
84.
for Killian McCormack and Jimmy Van Schie here now. 84 required to move into a 2-0 lead. Yeah, doesn't have to go 14 ball route and doesn't. Just opts to set up.
76. $42. Jimmy, you require 8.
So Van Schie for a 2-0 lead.
Game shot on the second leg. Jimmy Van Schie.
Nice hold of throw and
Third leg. It's
got to
Killian
get
to
into
throw
this
first.
and get his head into this.
Game on.
Yeah, and as a player,
81.
you know full well that a different day, you know, your darts can go completely differently. I mean, from match to match, in fairness, but you have to feel a bit for Killian McCormack, just nowhere near the standard of what we'd seen for him to get through to finals
54.
night.
Yeah, and if he could lift up to that standard, that's the thing that's going to silence the crowd and sort of win them back over. Because no matter what about a darts crowd, if you're playing well,
60.
people will just tip their hat to you, whether they want you to win or not, and go, do you know what, fair play, mate, you were brilliant there.
Yeah, the idea is to give them nothing they can cheer about, but
100.
so far the Van Schie fans have had quite a bit to cheer.
$140. $140.
You get the feeling Jimmy thought that was going to follow the first 2. Just a fraction off the target.
100.
But a good adjustment there from Killian McCormack.
There we go, yeah. Richie and me up there in the crowd. They've been playing this week.
123.
Fortunate enough to
Killian, you
make
require
it
120.
to the Saturday night this time round, but here supporting the lads they've been playing alongside. It's good to see.
40. Jimmy, you require 84.
Well, this time we'll look at the 14 route. Make sure on this occasion, very close to the double.
And he took one step. He was very close to our camera then as well. Bullseye it is.
59. Killian, you require 60. $20.
And I'd wager Killian McCormack is really feeling the nerves up there.
Jimmy, you require 25.
Yeah, Jimmy doing the right thing, taking his time and letting Killian get right out of the way. As you can see, he's not pleased with himself. Five for double 10. Sliding along the hockey.
Game's on the
And he hits
third leg, Jimmy Vanski.
And that one really got away from Killian because he had chances. He missed the big
Fourth
20
leg, it's Jimmy to throw
leave him
first.
3 darts back
Game
at
on.
tops. And then when he went back at the 60, he was still frustrated and then missed the big 20 to leave him 2 darts at top. So
100.
gave a few darts up to win the leg there, and that could have turned the game entirely on its head.
137.
Nice response there from McCormack, but he sent Swansky just closing in on that finishing line, 3-0 up, and got advantage of throw hit. You won't want to be broken.
38.
So McCormack here has turned the throw.
140.
Yeah, and I like that there. A little acknowledgement of the 140 from Van Skeet.
140.
And responds in kind.
57. 59. Killing you require 167.
It would have been a mighty ask. 3-0 down to hit the
Jimmy, you require
167.
164.
Left himself handy to get a leg and pressures Van Skee's 164.
64. Killing you require 68.
So 60 leg. And he's missed the big number again. It's a dart at the ball.
19.
And it just hasn't gone his
Jimmy, you
way
require
this
100.
evening.
Incoming match-winning opportunity here for Jimmy Van Skeet. I think we're looking at tops. Just goes high on the first.
40. Killing
Not a
you
showboat
require
shot, just solely
49.
because of the position there on the treble 20 of his first dart. McCormack's going 9 for tops, and he's been great on doubles all this week.
9.
But not this evening.
Jimmy, you require
Shake of the
60.
head tells you everything.
Well, this would be for a 4-0 win. Tops required. Wow,
25.
that was wild.
Killing you require
Big
40.
deflection, I think, off of the first dart being too close. There's a few players out there now learning to throw the flatty at the 60 shot out to make sure the flight is not in the way of the double when they're throwing for it. A chance he didn't
Shot on the
expect to
fourth
get
flag. Killian
from
McCormack.
McCormack. He gets it all the same.
Fifth flag. It's
And
Killian
now he
to
has
throw
the
first.
darts.
Game on. $59. $140.
That's what Van Ski thinks of himself for missing doubles on that last leg.
$82. $41.
Kicked off a leg really strong. Hit the 140. Backed it up only with 41.
You feel if McCormack here can just string a couple of scores together, he could put
140
Van Ski in all sorts of trouble, and I think he's realising it too.
Yeah, it's just having that bit of belief, isn't it? You need something to settle you down. Maybe that leg was what was needed, but Van Ski proving very difficult to shake off.
108.
How to get that third one in? It was a really unusual angle in the first.
Yeah, it was all over the place, wasn't it? Oh, here we go.
140. Killing you require.
Bit of shoulder in that one from Jimmy as well. The McCormack fans in the crowd can't believe he's missed another chance at doubles, which is where he's been so strong all week.
$35.
Yeah, crossing that line is proving rather difficult here for Jimmy Van Ski. Another opportunity incoming for Killian McCormack.
$20.
And this is where it can be difficult to have a crowd in on your back for Van Ski. This is where it makes it difficult, but you have to believe that you got yourself in it, that you can get yourself out of it.
Game shot on the match.
Yeah, and get himself
Jimmy
out of it. He did in the end, and it is a 4-1 victory for Jimmy Van Ski. Good appreciation between the pair of them after that. Disappointment, obviously, for Killian McCormack, although you wouldn't know it with him dancing on the stage like that. I think he's got a lot to take away from this experience, but there's your winner there, Jimmy Van Ski. 81-43 in the end, 4 from 11. Bit of difficulty crossing the line in the end, but that's the main result. It's a 4-1 win to the Dutchman. And do join us after a short break, because we'll see Mark Dubbridge back in action, and he'll be facing Shane McGurk.
Welcome back. So, Killian McCormack could not take his second chance here at the Super Series. He's lost both his matches and is out, meaning Richie Burnett and Jimmy Van Schie go through and will play to see who finishes top of Group 1 in their final match. Now, the last player out tonight is Shane McGurk. We haven't seen him yet, but he has done some very good stuff this week and in the past here at the Super Series, so he's earmarked finally making it through to a Champions Week. Is tonight the night he does it? Well, I had a little chat with him earlier on. Shane, back here on a Super Series Saturday. Just try and sum up how you think your week's gone.
It was a mixed bag this week. Like it was up and down. I started down, but thankfully it went down and then up for me. Like it didn't go the other way. I'm feeling confident enough. I won all my games yesterday and won most of my games on Thursday as well. So I'm in good form at the minute. So I think I'm settling into it. I feel confident in here. Like so, it's not like I'm coming in with nerves or feeling confident. I've a bit of a wait tonight for playing my game. I think. But I think I'm the last person to actually play a game. But yeah, whatever way it goes, and I got to watch a few games and see the tension that's out there, or see how many people turn up for the crowd. Like, and so I'll get into it. I'll be all right.
Yeah, we're talking now before anybody's played, but by the time you've played, you might know exactly what you need to do. It might be that you just have to win that match. Is that something that you follow when you're in the practice room, or do you need to block it out? And
no, not at all. No. Like I said it yesterday as well. I just want to win all my games. Like I know no one can win everything, but everyone wants to win every game, and I'm just going to keep going with that attitude and just want to win my games. And when I have to win, I'm not going to think about it. I still want to win. So to me, if you lose, you lose. Like, and you win, you win.
You do enjoy coming here. We've seen you at various different events, of course, the Influencers event we had as well. How important would it be for you? How big would it be for you, rather, to lift the trophy at the end of a night?
Yeah, the only thing I haven't played is the Champions Week, so that is the next goal. But getting to these Saturday nights is crucial, and it's so tough. Like that Group C, I think there was so many people on 12 points at one. Like I think there was 4 of us on 12 points. And I just had to keep on top of everyone. I think I had a game in hand and just kept on top of everyone, and it worked out in the end. But Champions Week is definitely on my bucket list for here, and if it goes, it goes. But it's gonna happen sometime. But if it happens this week, all for it.
Wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thank you.
Huge moments in this tie. 130 for McGurk. Keep it straight, and he's going to get a dart of double 5. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant from McGurk, and he's dropped his poker face as well.
It wasn't the intended target, but there was no damage done.
Shane McGurk.
The repeater is on. It's double 5 again, and Shane McGurk has produced.
Shane McGurk.
Can he indeed? Well, we will find out maybe in this match whether he's going to be heading through to at least the semi-finals. McGurk just needs to beat Mark Durbridge to book his place in the Final Four. That's after Durbridge had that hammering to Andy Davidson, but he's still got a chance here, Flash, and he will try and do what he did in his group. Struggled in the opening night of Group B, but had a fantastic night on Friday. As for Shane McGurk, well, he was a dominant force in Group C, losing just one match in it. And a win here, as I mentioned, will see him through. One leg for Shane McGurk will actually see Andy Davidson through this evening as well. So let's get this game underway. The final player to throw tonight is Shane McGurk, and guiding through the action, it's back to Laura and Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Murph. Yeah, I think it's
first
kind
leg.
Of
it's
gloves
Mark
off now for Durbridge.
Game
he just wants to do something to have happy memories when he leaves.
I
feel that he needs to get this one 4-zip to have any chance, and then he will need Davidson to do him a favour, but
57.
It's a big ask and a long shot, but mathematically still possible, I suppose.
Yeah, very difficult when you do lose 4-0, 4-1 to get through the group stages, but Mark's going to have to draw on all his experience because, as you mentioned, the next match in this group will be McGurk, who takes on Davidson, and Davidson really did lay down a bit of a marker in his opening match.
Absolutely, and you'd have to say momentum was with Davison. 180 on a pinhead for Dubbridge, and that's what he's built a career on. He's a massive 180 hitter.
60.
Yeah, we talked about it before, didn't we, in the previous game? Probably the element that he didn't quite get right, not following that first start and not finding that first start. And the adjustment was good there, but he is
125.
one of those great players that can just follow his darts through.
Indeed, Killian, you can just see in the background thanking his supporters.
100.
He's
Mark, you
come out
require
now
57.
to watch Shane play.
$37.
Yeah, little wobble there from Mark Dubbridge, but Shane McGurk all the way back on 225.
65.
I wonder if
Mark,
it
you
makes a
require
difference in
20.
these round robin stages. Shane actually mentioned he is one of those players that's had to wait for his game. Mark's already had a game up here tonight. Got used to maybe the crowd and the setting. Shane, this is his
10.
first step out onto the stage
Shane, you
today.
require 160.
Yeah, it's difficult. I've had that situation here where I won Group A last time out, and then you kind of don't play game 1 and then game 5, and if game
60.
1 hasn't gone well for
Mark,
you
you require
after
10.
winning Group A, then game 5 is an awful, awful long
Game
wait.
shot on the first leg. Mark Dubbridge. Second leg. It's
Sarcastic
Shane to
look
throw
there from
first.
Mark
Game on.
Dubbridge. Is that really in? What, I've hit a double?
In fairness, Andy Davison only afforded him 2 chances at the double in the previous match. Wasn't like he was
60.
missing a lot. It was just Davison proved too strong.
But for me, that shows he's sort of like feeling relaxed and knows the situation.
57.
Just one of those players that he follows the same pace. He's not one to be. He doesn't look like he's one of those players that can particularly be flustered. Like I said, and I think that comes down to the
83.
experiences that he's had within the sport.
Yeah, he just has to enjoy it now, doesn't he?
96.
He was saying about being on the seniors tour, obviously doing quite well on that. Apparently he's run into you a few times on the old seniors tour as well, but he's looked to the likes of
60.
Richard Rowlands, who won last week, Jim Long also present on the tour. Kind of that little additional bit of pressure to try and match what his fellow senior tour players are doing.
80.
Yeah, we all feel that pressure. I think any of us young old uns that are on the tour.
$121.
Now sort of finding his feet. Wonder if it's playing on his mind that he was the last to play. You know, it seemed to be, saying it in the interview. But
100.
like you say, if you get this one right, you're playing quick fire again and straight back on, which is always good. I used to love that in a tournament, a ranking tournament, and you've just lost it like 5 minutes and you're back on. It's lovely
57.
if you've won because you go with the momentum that you just had.
Oh yeah, I don't mind a bit of a break.
66. Shane, you require 120.
Kind of that player in the county system that likes to be on last.
Oh,
It's a bit different from the women to the men, though.
you
to be
lot
fair.
do my head in. I'm just happy to have the shirt. I don't care where you play me.
80.
Don't have a
Mark, you
preference.
require 102.
Been playing it long enough now. I know how to set myself up for game 1 or game 12 with the men. It doesn't matter.
$62.
Oh,
Shane, you require
talking us up.
40.
Mark sets himself up at tops, but it's McGurk who's got the first attempt at the target.
$20. Mark, you require 40.
Chance goes begging there for McGurk.
Game shot on the second leg. Mark Dubbridge.
Sounds like Dubbridge has got a few in this evening as well.
Third leg. It's Mark to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Mark was saying he's got a few supporters in, one celebrating their birthday. So happy birthday. I think he said his name was Pompey Pete.
96.
Yeah, Pompey Pete, but his name's Dave or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, that was Pompey Pete, he calls him.
$180.
I wonder how costly that leg may prove to be for McGurk.
97.
I think he realises it. Kicks off with his first 180 of the match.
$45.
Yeah, and follows it up with a bit of a bag of nails, and that gives Dubbridge a chance, and he doesn't usually
94.
need a second invitation, and a nice last start for him there.
$85.
And Shane's is in that very unenviable position now that he came into the match needing a break of throat. Now he's going to have to find at least 2 if he is going to win the match.
98.
Now, stranger than the Super Series group stages, I can tell you in darts. I've seen all sorts going on here. 9 dart shootouts.
140. Mark, you require
I
116.
think Jimmy Van Schie was involved in one of the last 9 dart shootouts.
Oh, 78 left, Mark. Treble 18. Oh,
92.
well listened.
Shane, you require 51.
So McGurk under pressure again. Double 16 to get his first leg on the board.
Game shot on the third
What
leg.
pressure?
Shane
What
McGurk.
am I talking about?
Oh, there's one of those breaks that
Fourth
we
flag.
just
It's
mentioned.
Shane to throw first.
A break's only a break, really, if
Game
you can
on.
go ahead and hold. And that's what he's going to have to do now, just to get it back on par.
Yeah, indeed. It's
96.
And you're very conscious of it as a player as well, that that's the case.
If you're in this format, if you
100.
don't have the darts in the first leg, you can very easily find yourself 3-0 down. It's just a hold. Then that break, if you haven't settled in quick enough, and a hold. Mark was denied that opportunity to go 3-0 up there by Shane McGurk, but it's
41.
quite easily done, and then that becomes quite a big challenge for players.
Yeah, it's ruthless, isn't it? Absolutely ruthless format.
Yeah,
100.
qualified for the first ever women's world match play. Draylene de Graaf found myself in the same position, lost the ball. She broke in the second leg, 3-0 down. I did get one leg after that, held the throw, but then it becomes a real uphill struggle.
140.
Yeah, it sure does. On the Pro Tours, it was the bullseye was massive. I used to stay at home practicing the bullseye for
45.
an hour to try and make sure I didn't make a mess of it. And then when you put that much attention on it, you then go and make a mess of it.
Why can't I do it like I do it at home? It's always the question.
57.
Absolutely, I started putting like 2 darts down and throwing at the ball with 1 dart, because that's generally what you get. And I tried all sorts of permutations, but yeah.
100. Shane, you require 167.
Shane first to have a go at a finish. It's a big finish, but that's part 1. Yeah, it's very close to the treble 20.
131. Mark, you
Yeah,
require
nicely done.
156.
The leg that he won previously has already put Andy Davison through.
84.
Now he's
Shane, you
looking at
require
trying to get himself
36.
through and leveling this game up at 2-2.
Game shot on the 4th flag. Shane McGurk.
He's now settled into the game, hasn't he?
Yeah, very much warming to the task.
5th flag. It's Mark to throw first. Game on.
And it may just come, like I say, down to what we were talking about. Maybe it just takes players just a leg or 2 just to adjust, whereas Mark's come out having had that game under his belt.
43. $97.
Nice find there from Dubbridge, just to remind McGurk he's not going to go anywhere.
$100.
I thought he'd moved then. That one looked to just be hanging on, but no problem for Flash. 180.
78.
Right back in it.
Mark, you require 84.
Yeah, despite the comeback from McGurk in the last couple of legs, I don't think Mark would be the type to panic about it.
52.
Still got the advantage of throw, and he's using it very well. Down to 32 and 12, but McGurk all the way back on 280.
100. Mark, you require 32. Game shot on a fifth leg.
Mark Dubbridge there moves within one leg of victory over Shane McGurk.
Sixth leg, it's Shane to throw first. Game on. $100. $100.
Feel it's going to be a little bit nip tuck from here on in.
Yeah, I think so, because Dubbridge is obviously a win for him. Does put him back in the mix.
123.
And McGurk don't have to beat Davidson.
Yeah, it has that level of importance for both of them, obviously.
134.
For Mark Dubbridge, he has to win it to stay in. For McGurk, it's not over if he doesn't, but obviously has the likes of Andy Davidson to face next, and we saw what he did when he faced Mark Dubbridge in their opening match.
93.
It's like a winner could take all, depending on the next result. So we're none the wiser for knowing who's going through anyway.
57. $100.
Yeah, I guess the only way we'll know anything definitively is if McGurk does beat Dubbridge. Then that's his finals night over. But a win for Dubbridge, and yet we're still waiting on tenterhooks.
We are indeed. It's a little bit feast or famine for Dubbridge. He's either
40.
putting a couple of scores together and getting himself away, or he's finding himself struggling.
In fairness, it's a bit like what it was for him in the group stages. Yeah, and that's a loose start. Make sure of the single number.
45. Mark, you require 170.
Well, got there in the end. A risky way to do it. He'd only hit the ball, but he's safe now with Dubbridge not looking to trouble the 170.
77. Shane, you require 40.
So to bring us back to a level game once again.
Game shot
And
on
a
a
level
sixth
game we
leg.
have.
Shane McGurk. Seventh and final leg. It's Mark to throw first. Game on.
And this is where, as a player, you just think, come on, one good leg, one
60.
good spell, couple of minutes, and I've done it.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel minimum requirement for McGurk here is a ton. He's blocked his route, so he's got to come out.
59.
The crowd are definitely quiet. They don't know what's happening. They're
93.
oh, nice double 18 there, and Dubbridge showing his experience now in a situation.
125.
Yeah, McGurk, that 1-2-5, just making a few inroads into the Dubbridge throat. Mark still desperately seeking out a treble.
45.
Yeah. I think he knew that before it even hit the board.
Yeah, overpitched, wasn't it? Line and length was lost. It also means that McGurk has virtually turned the throw, but once again with a trebleless visit. Dubbridge not out of it.
98.
Yeah, it's coming to the point. It's one of those legs that you just think, one treble a throat, one treble a throat. Well, Mark's just found that, and so has McGurk.
Yeah, but when you start asking yourself for one treble a throw,
118.
It does become difficult when every part of your body is shaking, your knees going, your hands are shaking. You've got to have that stock treble 20 in your repertoire.
165.
And sometimes you've got to have a treble 15 with that as well.
142.
Yeah, great visit there from Mark Dubbridge. Shane McGurk knows he's in a precarious position here, not just in this match, but in the group.
Another one of those, and he was in business. But not to be.
72. Mark, you require 40.
Is that a marker?
Game shot.
It most certainly is a marker, and it is a win for Mark Dubbridge. Flash finds a way. 4-3 victory over Shane McGurk. Keeps his hopes for a place in the semi-finals very much alive. I'm liking all the moves on the stage tonight as Mark gives us a little dance just to show how happy he was with that victory. There's an 87-32, 4 from 12 on the outer ring, and an 84-03 for Shane McGurk. But join us again after a quick break as we go back to Group 1, where Jimmy Van Schie takes on Richie Burnett.
Well, a couple of group games left to play here at finals night of the Modus Super Series, and I don't think you are going to want to take your eyes off this one. The ever animated Richie Burnett back on the hockey, having already qualified for the semi-finals along with Jimmy Van Ski. Both of those players beating Killian McCormack and booking their spots in the semis. And now this one will determine who wins the group. But with both players through and with the support in the audience for the popular Dutchman Van Ski, we might see a little bit of flamboyance and bravado in
First
this
leg,
battle.
it's
So
Jimmy
to
to
guide
throw
you
first.
through an unmissable matchup, it's
Game
back
on.
to Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thanks very much, Murph. I will say I have to agree. I think this is one that you're going to want to watch. Richie Burnett, very dominant in his 4-1 win over Killian McCormack. Same result for Jimmy Van Ski. But both these two have got the potential to deliver fireworks on the hockey. And I think it's going to be a bit of a battle with the crowd as well, because both seem to have quite a bit of support in. Two very popular players here at the Modus Super Series.
180.
Right on cue, Laura. Well done. Yes, there's a little bit of support here. I've got to say, I don't think Burnett will
140.
worry about this one iota. The louder they cheer, the bigger he'll play.
123.
I do wonder, for someone like Jimmy, now he knows it's kind of job done. He's through to the semi-final. That's the main bit of the group stages. Just gets to relax a bit, because I think he's one of those players that can kind of tighten up. You can see him snatch, pull him into the wrong bed.
81. Jimmy, you require 98.
Whereas I do agree. I think Richie will just go about doing what Richie Burnett does.
There is a big thing on this, though. Whoever tops the group then gets the dance in the semi-final. And over this short format, the only time you bull up for any game here all week is if you manage to make the final.
100. Jimmy, you require 40.
Tops after 12 for both. Shows how they're playing.
Game shot on the first leg. Jimmy Van Ski.
Jimmy is enjoying.
Second leg
Crowd.
is Richie to throw first. Game on.
He's definitely come to the party. 13 dart leg. Or 14 dart leg, sorry. Could have been 13. He won't worry about that. 13, 14 or 15 was a win.
108.
And back comes Richie Burnett.
Yeah, some response there from Richie Burnett. I'm with you. Sometimes those body out motions from Burnett, I wonder how they go where they go, but Jimmy Van Ski had it as well. 180s for both.
Both able to throw with freedom, and like you say, they're both in, and we'll play in the semi-final. It's just which semi-final, and will they have the darts?
91.
9 dart leg this time out, although we had two potential chances.
Yeah, still something we haven't seen on a finals night. On that elusive
81.
9. I've seen quite a few here at the Super Series, but yeah, just not on a finals.
Was Richie Burnett's significant other
140.
Tonight in the crowd. And the other person in white is her brother and his girlfriend. So
36. Jimmy, you require 90.
Burnett there didn't need to stay up with that last start. Leaves himself on a bogey. Van Ski on double 12.
66.
Not a thing Burnett can do now on 166. Every time I keep doing that, I hit a triple 20, at least with one of the two darts. Hasn't happened this time round for Burnett.
59. Jimmy, you require 24.
Yeah, that error that could prove costly as Van Ski comes back to the hockey for 24 and a 2-0 lead.
It's a breaker throw.
Game's on the second leg. Jimmy
Used the other two
Vanchkin.
darts perfectly, didn't he? Just as you said earlier, Laura, sorry.
Third leg, it's
Lorna.
Jimmy to throw first.
Laura, you
Game
can
on.
leave that first leg like Richie has done with the darts, and now he's staring 3-0 in the face, isn't he?
100.
Yeah, 100%. But I think Burnett's probably got a little bit more left in the tank to give.
$44.
This is the point where you start battling the demons in your head if you have them. You could be 2-0 up in this situation. Go, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up in your head, and you mess it up.
Well, we did see it with Vanchkin against McCormack. Did have a dance to win 4-0 and just unfolded. Few errors on the outer ring.
121.
Yeah, and there you see the averages. Jimmy Vanchkin averaging just over 105. Definitely come out with a job to do.
60.
And it is a sign that they're thrown with freedom. They know they're both through. But you try to get one over on, because you could play each other in the final.
99.
So you like to get one over on each other. And neither of them have played all week against one another. How on earth did that go there? I'll tell you how, because he's 6'78". That's why. He could go over the top of those first two. You'll see no other player able to do that.
100. Jimmy, you require 116.
It's a part of Jimmy's game as well. He throws it with such force. He can kind of just creates his own path regardless of where the darts are. And most definitely created his own path there. 3-0 to Jimmy Vanchkin with that 116 checkout.
Fourth flag,
First
it's
tongue
Richie
topper of the
first.
evening, and
Game on.
Burnett will hang in there as best he can. What can you do? The man is doing 102 average.
60.
Richie more than tidy, 90 plus. But he's just not getting there first and getting the dart at it.
100.
I think Jimmy may have set himself this target because what he has done is denied Burnett any chance at a double so far in this match. Burnett was pretty good on the outer ring in his
97.
victory over McCormack. It's 4 from 9.
Stands to reason it's the best way to win a game if you can play that well and not give your opponent a chance.
Yeah, of course, it's the intention. It's just not feeling I get that off him anymore, really, Scott.
It's your intention every time you go to the board, but how often does it ever actually happen? It's probably less than 2%, probably, every game you play. You're always giving away legs. You're always...
100. $60.
Yeah, Burnett probably not happy with the way he's playing so far in the match.
100.
It's not necessarily that he's doing a lot wrong. It's just Jimmy has just been the dominant player of the two.
I'm doing an awful lot right as well as what Jimmy's done.
180. Jimmy require 146.
You couldn't quite
96.
muster
Richie require
the
47.
146. So Richie Burnett here to get a leg on the board. Finds a 7, needs chops. And pins chops, no problem.
Flag, Richie Burnett.
And that's why he wasn't meant to be giving Richie any shots at a double, because that happens.
Yeah, it does
Fifth
happen.
flag, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
He's having a chat with his friend there in the corner. We mentioned it at the top of the show.
100.
Yeah, he's... I Suggesting that he's using the
97.
Modus Super Series speaker to clean his hands and get the sweat off his hands and using it for grip, but he also saw him early in the week having a good chat with said speaker.
$60.
You just see that characteristic kick of the back leg.
$100.
$140 needed here to get back level.
140.
I think
he did.
$55.
Yeah, not quite what Jimmy was hoping for there. So a slight opening here for Richie Burnett if he's going to break the throw and stay in the match. But he's that treble.
60.
Obviously doesn't listen to me
Jimmy
as much as he listens to you, Scott.
146.
No, you just keep quiet there. I'll talk to him. No, he was unfortunate there. Won it 3 perfectly thrown darts. Just didn't go on the desired target.
56. Richie require 144.
Yeah, that would have been something there from Richie Burnett, but
60.
Offers a real match-winning opportunity
Jimmy
here to Jimmy
require
Vanschke.
90.
Surely he's got to go the 20s route. Treble 20 for double 15 or another single 20 for the ball. You've got to get yourself a dart or something to win the match. Yeah, wisely done. Is he going for the treble or is he going to go... Oh, he went for the treble. Bullseye now for the match.
65.
Oh, he wasn't miles away, was he?
Richie require 84.
So Burnett gets another chance. You know what happened last time he was given a chance? He wasn't quite so close on the ball as Jimmy Vanschke was.
25.
So Vanschke, 25 to top the group.
Yeah, just takes his time. That was a bit close to the 12, too close for comfort. But that is
Jimmy
perfectly
Vanschke.
in the target, and it does go the way of Jimmy Vanschke. He comes out a 4-1 winner. He tops Group 1 with that victory over Richie Burnett. And yeah, just celebrating with his fans there. Absolutely delighted for them. Well, there you see the averages. 93.23 for Jimmy Vanschke. 88, just a bit off the pace there. Richie Burnett, 1 from 2, was very good on the outer ring, but just didn't get there often enough. And it was Vanschke that emerged victorious. Well, we've got one more group game from Group 2 to play, and that is Shane McGurk. And he'll be taking on Andy Davidson just after the break.
So the final group game about to get underway here at finals night of the Modus Super Series, and it's a battle between Scotland and Ireland. Andy Davidson, the speedy Scot who's already through to the semi-finals, taking on Shane McGurk, who needs to beat him to get there. That's after McGurk missed out in the last leg, decided to mark Durbridge a couple of games ago. And if Davidson does get the job done here, it will be Durbridge who goes through, despite the fact that he lost his first match against Andy Davidson by 4 legs to 0. So can McGurk manage to beat Davidson and book his own place in the final 4, or will Andy Davidson once again, like he did last night, take Mark Durbridge through? Let's find out in the company of Scott and Laura.
Game on.
Yeah, well spotted there, Murph. It's, yeah, deja vu moment could be for Durbridge. A little hand from Andy Davidson.
140.
I think McGurk, we know that he's got the numbers and we know that he's got the ability of
180.
Yeah, he had to wait so long to get on the board. He was the last player to throw this evening.
57.
Disadvantage that he was having, but you'd like to think now he's going to come in and
83.
He's playing for his Super Series life here this evening. You don't want to leave it on the practice board, and
125.
isn't early doors here.
Yeah, the one thing I would suggest if I was Mark Durbridge is that do not get the cab home, Mark, like he did yesterday. He didn't stay to see that final result. He's going to want to see the result of this one, trust me.
97. $140. Shane, you
McGurk's got
require
fight,
82.
and he's kicked off really well in this match. He's also got the advantage of throw, and he's got that 82 checkout on the ball.
And I love that direction for 82 when your opponent is in front of you. I really love that. It's such an old-fashioned way to go. But you guarantee yourself a dart at the ball 9 times out of 10. Whereas if you go bullseye route, you don't always guarantee that. You have to hit that 25 with the first dart. And yes, you should back yourself to hit it as a player of the standard that is here or anywhere that you go. But there's just something about that 82 in that position that I like, and I think his ball management there was spot on.
Yeah, I quite often say it's playing the percentages, isn't it? And it's playing safe as opposed to maybe that more risky approach to the game. And the risky approach, we are seeing more and more coming into
95.
The players, into their kind of locker, so to speak. A lot of people still desperate to get, the 3-ball checkout on a 150.
91. Andy, you require 170.
That would not be my route.
No, absolutely.
96.
Back in the day you went
Shane, you require 130.
18. Nobody did. We went 42-36.
Game shot on his second leg.
2 bullseye shots in a row. 130 this time. Wow.
Third leg, it's Shane to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, bullseye most definitely been Shane McGurk's friend so far in the match. Andy Davidson in the background there just looked like he was snarling slightly. Probably not
42.
Quite used to being in this position. He really did dominate Group B.
30.
Absolutely, and like I say, it's not from his lack of poor play, it's more that
81.
McGurk has been superb.
140.
You've got to take a look at the averages to see that. There they are. Davidson actually above McGurk in the averages, and he's
60.
throwing the kitchen sink at him.
$100.
Yeah, once again, you've got the person that's got the throw, finding that really early break, and now on throw to go 3-0 ahead. And again, it just becomes that really difficult task where you cannot afford to slip up.
95.
You have to say, the way the matches have all gone in both groups tonight, advantage of throw seems to be quite key. Only one game gone against the throw, and that was Van Schie's win over McCormick.
96.
Yeah, and McCormick only just averaging over 70 as well, so that helped Van Schie's cause very much indeed. But
44.
Yeah,
Shane, you
going
require
with the darts this evening.
122. Game shot on a third leg.
Oh my word.
Shane McGurk.
3 in a row. McGurk in absolute dreamland. How often do you go bullseye 3 legs on the trot? I've been playing a fair while. I don't remember that happening to me very often, if at all.
No, that's some sharp shooting from the arrow.
108.
Confidence is absolutely sky high with this momentum. And Davison will come off thinking he's played woeful, and he's right there with him on just under 100 average. There is nothing you can do about finishing like that.
95.
You've just got to say to yourself when you stood behind him, you're going to have to keep that up, mate, because I'm going to come for you. And at the moment, he keeps hitting them.
81.
No, I don't think Davidson's really had someone play at this level against him. He's sticking with him. He's not doing a huge amount wrong, but McGurk has just been relentless. Rather unlucky not to have secured that third treble 20 there.
$99. Shane, you require 106.
Treble 18 the target, not going to go, and can't believe we're saying it, but it's on the fourth leg and it's not going to finish on a bullseye.
No, absolutely, yeah.
124.
Well, might do. Oh, you got it right. Well called.
56.
So then,
Shane, you
McGurk
require 32.
for a 4-0 win. Oh, he's pulled it.
16.
So
Andy,
close, but so far.
68.
Was that a touch of the old knee wobblers there for McGurk? Double 16 for
52.
Davison.
Shane, you require 16.
So he comes back. He's done all the hard work. Can he just finish it off?
Game shot.
He does
on the
indeed.
match, Shane McGurk.
4-0 win for Shane McGurk. He had all the pressure on him coming up to that board. You could only imagine. Andy Davison looking there and going, woo! And yeah, 3 bullseyes there, Shane McGurk. 3 bullseyes. He puts the 3 fingers up. Lovely job. Look at those averages. 98.56 for McGurk, and Andy Davison followed him all the way with a 92. And the stats there, 4 from 6 on the doubles and the 130 on the bullseye. Well, that just set the match up. So we'll head off into a short interlude, and we'll be back with your semi-finals.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they can just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you
Labanov.
saying about efficiency?
Game shot on the third leg. Reece
Is that
Robinson.
the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanov. Game shot.
Well, Smith, is it
Darius
a
Labanov.
9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot on the
Well,
mark.
he gets the job
Andreas
done
Harrison.
in the end. He's nodding in total
Game shot on the
agreement
second
because
leg. Game shot on the fourth flag.
Just
Darius
like that.
Labanowski.
He needs the one. There you can see.
So that she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great guide.
Shot on the first leg. Andreas Harrison.
It's a breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
Shot on the second leg. Dan Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, double 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Welcome back. So the semi-finals are set, and it's been a very interesting night of action. We've seen a bit of bouncing back, and that can definitely be said of Shane McGurk. But the atmosphere down there has been fantastic. A lot of it for a certain Dutchman.
Yeah, very much. It's been rather loud when Jimmy's been out on the stage, but I've liked it. There's been, you know, a lot of respect for all the players up on the stage, and there's a bit of support for all of them. So I think that may have really carried Jimmy through, though, more than most.
We're going to do it in reverse tonight. I'm going to talk about the players that have left us. Mark Durbridge, I think he just ran out of lives, didn't he?
I think so. He was still waiting on another favour. And to be fair, putting Andy Davidson in the mix to get you the favour would normally be a sure bet almost. But McGurk proved too strong. And as you say, just probably too much to do for Mark Durbridge after that first loss.
And Killian McCormack may be overawed by the occasion?
I think so. I really do. I think he mentioned that he had nerves when he came into the Super Series on the first day. And obviously this is a very different environment when you've got the crowd, and especially the group he found himself in. He had Richie Burnett, he had Jimmy Van Schie, both had a lot of crowd support behind them. Yes, he had a few of his family here, but it's just different. And I think, maybe just a bit overwhelming.
But let's just remind you of tonight's order of play. Then here are all the results and the remaining fixtures this evening. The semi-final set with Van Schie taking on Davidson and McGurk up against Burnett. Both look tasty. Burnett got that 4-1 win against McCormack. He didn't recover, lost by the same scoreline to Van Schie, who then beat Burnett to win that group. And then, interestingly, Andy Davidson opening with a 4-0 win, but then losing 4-0 to McGurk.
Yeah, it really did turn around. Shane McGurk went out there a bit like what he did in Group C. It's basically last chance saloon for him, and he knew he had a job and a real big task on his hand. And I think Shane McGurk proved exactly what he can do. Very, very solid performance, and his finishing was spectacular.
Right, let's go through each of the semi-finalists one by one. I'm going to start with Richie Burnett, because it's Richie Burnett. But he had his moments, didn't he, in that first match? Kind of got the job done early on, danced off the stage at the end of it, and that was the moment the job was done. Yeah,
very much so. I think, getting through the group stages, Richie said it himself, he got through Group A and then thought, it's job done. You obviously still want to play at a high standard, but you lose that bit of adrenaline. Again, Richie got the job done pretty early in his group today, and perhaps just didn't perform as much as he should against Jimmy Van Schie, but yeah, there you can see it. Richie taking that 4-1 win, and it proved to be enough.
Yeah, just seeing if we get the little dance. Oh, not quite the dance there. Hopefully we'll get it again later tonight. But it means he'll have to win that semi-final to do that, of course. Jimmy Van Schie, we saw him earlier in the night, actually, just to let you into a bit of a secret. He's got this little fan club, hasn't he, here in Portsmouth. They're sat at the front of the stage. They arrived early. They started cheering him. He came and high-fived them all. He really is feeding off that little Portsmouth posse that are on his side. Yeah, and it really does help. It does, especially if you are one of those players that enjoys playing in front of a crowd. To have, a small corner. Don't forget, obviously, it's normally the kind of English-backed local players that get the support of the crowd. So to come over here from the Netherlands and actually have people in your corner, it really can boost you, and I think it has boosted Jimmy tonight. Yeah, and he got a big win straight away, and this took him through, so it's been kind of easy for him so far. In a way, he's made it easy for himself because Burnett had done half the job for him. He then compounds a misery on McCormack. Kind of the perfect setup for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it can work that way if you are in that second match, if the results go your way. It doesn't always happen, but yeah, for Jimmy, like you say, he could just play with that bit more freedom in the last match because it was just, a tussle for position as opposed to a fight to stay in the tournament.
And talking of getting the job done straight away, Andy Davidson just blew Mark Durbridge away.
Yeah, and it was what we were kind of expecting, in terms of the level of play from Andy Davidson. Durbridge just a bit too slow to get out the blocks, and I think that's why he's obviously found himself in the position that he has, just a bit too much work to do despite getting the extra win.
And then he loses that next match 4-0, Andy Davidson. What does he need to do now to make sure he's back to the first game form for the semi-final?
Yeah, I don't think he did a lot wrong, really, Andy Davidson. It was just the sheer strength of McGurk. I think, he's definitely going to give him something to think about because he has been very, very dominant throughout throughout both Group A, really, and especially, in Group B. So I think, he's going to be thinking about it. But I think he's also got to take a step back and realise how well McGurk played. And that's a very hard standard to maintain.
Yeah, what a performance that was from Shane McGurk.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you see it? He's checked out 3 consecutive legs, all finished on the bullseye. He just absolutely dominated. And you can see the 130 here. And this, to me, was almost, a moment of game change. I know it's early on, but to find the ball, to get the early break when you've got Davidson sat on 74, it just really turned things around. He was just in control from then on.
What does that do to you as an opponent if not only just keep hitting doubles, but keep hitting the bullseye?
Yeah, it's the smallest target on the board. We say it quite often. It's not what you want to leave, but sometimes it's all you can leave. And I think if you're the one hitting it, wow, fantastic. You're on form. You've got that focus. But if you're the one, sat there on a finish and just on the receiving end, again, Andy Davidson down to 92. He's thinking, I'll be back. And then for the third time in a row, you're like, oh, and you're resetting at 5:01 again.
Yeah, so McGurk going berserk on the bullseye, getting himself through, not only just getting through, but ending up winning that group. And that's a group where, he lost his first match. Davidson had won 4-0. He really has turned it around.
Yeah, I think that's just been an element of McGurk's game as well. He was very disappointed about how he performed in Group A, but again, just turned it all around in Group C. And I think that's a testament to the strength of someone, how well they can bounce back. And to bounce back in such a fashion to not just get through, but to win the group, then that's a real testament to the quality of McGurk.
And it also gives Andy Davidson less time to recover from it.
Yeah, and sometimes having that little bit of extra time, that can be really beneficial. But the other thing is he did have a bit of a great break between game 1 and game 6, between his 2 games, and perhaps he's got a little bit of momentum because he did play well, and maybe he can take that into the first semi.
Right, let's just remind you of the semi-finals. These are the 2 matches that will determine who will play in the big money match tonight. So Davidson's going to play Jimmy Van Schie in the opener, Shane McGurk up against Richie Burnett. I mean, I mentioned before, they are quite tasty, but I just get the sense that Andy Davidson has gone from maybe being a lot of people's favourite from his first performance to being the outsider because he played the last match and didn't play poorly. But Scott Mitchell said it in commentary, he will feel like he played poorly. Yeah, and also you've also got to factor in the fact that Jimmy beat Burnett and beat him quite emphatically 4-1. So it's amazing how quickly things can turn around in darts, and it's what it does to the state of the minds of the players. And I think Jimmy will come in very positive, and I think, as you say, Davidson, he may just have that bit of hesitancy about what just happened because it was a bit of a whirlwind. McGurk Burnett, the second semi-final. What do you see happening in that one? Similarly, I think coming into the tournament, I would have put Burnett as the favourite, but Burnett just didn't look as comfortable against his match with Jimmy, whereas McGurk just seems to, when it's kind of that last chance and his back is against the wall, he seems to be able to produce these big games. So I think he's going to need another one, but if he can do that, then I think actually McGurk may go in as a slight favourite. And we just spoke about the first one. They're about to get underway for the first semi-final. Jimmy Van Schie, he's got his fan club, but Andy Davidson's got a few Scots down there as well. Yeah, he's definitely come here with a few supporters, which interestingly he invited on the Thursday as well. So, it shows the level of confidence he's got at how well he's going to do, and maybe that will bolster him throughout the match. But who knows? I think sometimes when you've got that support, especially when they've travelled so far, it can actually put a little bit of pressure on you as well. Who is feeling the most comfortable out of the 4?
I think probably Jimmy. You know, he just seems to be more comfortable just in front of a crowd. He knows that he's done well here before, and like you said, he's just taken each match at a time. Yeah, he knows how the quality of the field, but I think that last win over Burnett, I think that's going to give him the most confidence going into the semi-finals.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting first semi, isn't it? Because of the stories of both players who both came here in the previous series, relatively unknown, both won their weeks. We're now at the point where only one of them can.
Yeah, I think most people probably thought this could have actually been a potential final. I know that wouldn't have surprised me. So to see them up at the semi-final, you know, one of them is going to be very disappointed because I know they've both got very clear aspirations that they want to be making it to Champions Week again and they want to be winning tonight.
Right, I'll let you get back into comms to enjoy the semi-finals, and the first semi-final is ready to go.
12, too close for comfort, but that is perfectly.
Absolutely spot on. Andy Davidson.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet our semi-finalists. First up, from the Netherlands, Jimmy van Schie! And Jimmy's opponent, from Scotland, it's Andy Davidson!
Well, this could be reminiscent of those old Eric Bristow, Bobby George days for anyone who can remember those chants. We've got a line of honorary Dutchmen, shall we say, here in Portsmouth, Jimmy van Schie fans. But then just next to them, the other side of the walk-on, we've got a line of Scots that have come down from Edinburgh to support Andy Davidson. The crowd will be involved in this one, but can the players keep their focus? That might be the trick to winning this game and being the first player through to the final. I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm sure Laura Turner and Scott Mitchell are as well. Over to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Murph. I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. This one is going to be not only an entertaining game, the crowd will be involved. Both players, while you were having a chat there, enjoying the crowd, getting into it. And we saw a different side to Andy Davidson, letting him get in, but it's the 30-year-old Jimmy van Schie from Breda in Holland who has the darts in this one.
First leg, it's Jimmy to throw first.
28 years old.
Game on!
A couple of years of singer. What a lovely gesture that. That's how well these two have got on all week. It's something we keep saying about the Modus Super Series, how you kind of know players before you come here for a week, but when you're put in that small practice room at the back, the six of you,
100.
And you have to, there's one table and you have to all sit on the same table. You get to know a player and a person, even though you've been in the room with them 50 times that year.
Yeah, 100%. I found the same, my experience here throughout Women's Week, and people that I've known for a long time, as you say, just spending that extra time with them the whole time. It was a great experience. It was great to get them to know the girls so much better.
Yeah, very good for the camaraderie, but 36. It's very difficult when you have to go and play a player that you've been hanging around with for 6 days and you kind of like. It's very similar.
140.
When you stay in there, there's a house just up the road, an Airbnb type house that some of the guys all stay in together with 4 rooms, and once you stay with somebody there
96.
for a week,
Jimmy,
you find out lots about them when you breakfast with them as well.
Yeah, for me, it's just whether that last match for Andy Davidson, whether
Jimmy
that
required 36.
rattled him slightly. Lost 4-0 to McGurk, and I mean, the performance from McGurk was exceptional. As he said, Davidson didn't do much wrong, but hasn't had a lot of time to recover. And you see Van Schieck going to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing for Davidson is this has just happened to him as well with McGurk.
Game on.
So he's now getting that deja vu feeling that he had 10, 15 minutes ago, where he played absolutely awesome and just could not do a lot about the way that McGurk had played. And he was playing for his Super Series life, and all of a sudden he's then topping the group and getting the darts in the second semi-final. It was a superb performance from him, I think. Probably one of the most classy performances we've seen in a while to get out of the group to the semi-final.
I would definitely agree with that. But this is looking like some performance here for Van Schieck.
He's really enjoying this Van Schieck, isn't he? We're seeing we're starting to see the inner Van Schieck that we saw just a few weeks back. And he ran one of the weeks.
45.
Went to Champions Week.
And chance for Davidson just to leave something quite handy.
97.
I love that hard start to go in treble 17, but 74 left. And Van Schieck on 141.
$45. Andy requires 74.
96 is there if he gets back, but single 20 for tops and 1-1. That's exactly what we've got.
Davidson.
Davison is now in the game.
Third leg, it's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
That's Davidson's first leg since the second game this evening. It wasn't long on after 8 o'clock to his first leg for well over an hour and 45 minutes.
140.
Yeah, but these are the ones that now count, and just look at the levels these guys are playing at the moment. Just under 110 for Van Schieck, over 105 for Andy Davidson.
This is a super quality match, and we knew it would be.
96.
Their pace suits one another as well, allows them to play. This is sensational stuff from Jimmy Van Schieck.
135.
The route to get to this point has been very similar. Both came through Group 8, finished second and third. Jimmy was the player that finished second in Group A.
Jimmy require 147.
Found themselves in Group B. So they've played each other every single day.
129. Andy require 164.
Shot so far this evening is 130 on the ball from McGurk, and it was nearly topped there. Oh, it was then nearly topped there as well by Andy Davidson.
Jimmy require 18.
These two just going at it, hammer and tongs. They're absolutely loving it. Roy smiles on both faces after their throw-in.
Yeah, and a real error there from Jimmy Van Schieck. Just tried to use that dart, pulled it just in the 9, so wants to spurn a dart
10.
and give a chance to
Andy
Davidson to break the throat.
25.
Indeed, he had a go at this earlier and missed it. And he's done the same again. He did the same at McGurk.
Jimmy require 8.
A pin drop in there until the double goes in. And then the raw goes up.
Fourth leg, it's Andy to throw first. Game on.
Just to hold a throw, but
180.
here comes Davison back, saying, well, you've held your throw. You're going to have to do some to break mine. Here we go, back-to-back 180s. No, not to be.
I thought it was on there for a moment. Davidson back in that treble 20 bed. Back-to-back 180s for Davidson. Can we dare to dream?
We didn't dare to dream.
140. Andy required
to dream.
141.
I have to say, even the Van Ski lads were on their feet then, the supporters, for the back-to-back 180s. Davison, Roy smile there. He's got to get his head back on this, because Van Ski is
Andy required
right up his exhaust pipe here.
Oh,
lovely finish. Lovely finish. What a game of darts this is.
Fifth leg,
4
it's Jimmy
legs
to
in.
throw first. Game on.
The numbers are just sensational.
Yeah, I think there was
95.
full respect there from everyone in the crowd for Andy Davidson. 11 dart leg was a holder throw, and he will have to find that break if he's going to
41.
beat Jimmy Van Schie.
You have to pay good money to see darts like this, not just a £2 booking
59.
fee. Come along, people.
Yeah, absolutely. Great when we get the crowd in here at the Super Series.
134.
So if you want to come next week, there's the QR code. Get your tickets purchased.
44.
You two could be here watching more excitement. Exactly the same as you're seeing here.
137. $133.
Yeah, nice work there from Jimmy Van Schie. He's looking out of the leg, and then all of a sudden, one big
93.
visit. But that's
Jimmy
changed it as
required
well, that last start from
170.
Davidson.
Yeah, I was about to say it looked advantage Davidson, and then Van Schie whacked in that 133, but can't do much with the 170.
80.
He just rescued it with the
Andy
last dart.
required 96.
Yeah, recovered nicely. Davidson, we've just seen this from him. Is he going a different... Oh, hello.
36.
He did go a different route. He did go a different route. The risky route, I call that.
Jimmy, you require 90.
I wonder if he has to think about that combination before he throws it, just because of the pace between throws. Is that kind of a preconceived idea?
My eyes don't even focus that quickly, let alone throw that quickly. What a hole to throw.
Jimmy Van Schie.
What a hole to throw. And the Van Schie supporters
Sixth
come
leg,
alive
it's Andy
once
to throw
more.
first. Game on.
If I was Andy Davidson, I think that that bullseye, he's done something to offend the ball, because at
100.
every opening that his opponents had, 3 McGurk got against him in that 4-0 victory.
Yeah, it does seem to be coming back to haunt him a little bit, that bullseye. He's not managed to hit it himself on 2 occasions in the last
100.
couple of games, and he's had it hit against him on 4 occasions.
97.
Davidson, to me, is showing the resilience of a player who's played for years. He seems unfazed by the 4-0 defeat. He seems relatively
60.
unfazed by the fact that he's 1 leg away from defeat. Just keeps ploughing along.
140.
Certainly does. And it's a trait you cannot teach. It's either something you're born with or
Andy
you are
required
not.
164. 139.
He's had another go at the ball again, and he's getting closer. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah, I think I'd be having words with that bullseye
60.
afterwards, regardless of the
Andy
result.
required 25.
Yeah, nicely done.
Andy Davidson.
Nicely done. It's 3-3. It's all about who's got the darts now.
Seventh
Can
and
you hold your
final
nerve?
leg. It's Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
Little look from Jimmy to his supporters there.
Yeah, so far, every leg going with throw. We'll say it's Davidson that probably has
59.
carved out the more chances to break the Van Schie throw. And that's exactly what he's going to have to do if he's going to make another final.
40.
Agreed, and an opportunity open there for Davidson with Jimmy Vansky just going off with 59, and he sort of had a non-treble visit and fluffed his lines. Surely he won't make the mistake twice. Throwing a split second slower till the last dart, ironically there. But this could be a nervy old leg, and it's looking like it's going to be that way, and trebles are going to be of paramount importance.
Do you know the one thing I think I've noticed about Van Schie, and I've seen it earlier on in the week,
96.
really important leg, obviously it's absolutely massive for both of them. He seems to have slowed down his pace once again. Seems a bit more deliberate.
Yeah.
And that's when those mistakes come in, the fives. Can just...
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that. Good spot.
95.
Needs another, really, doesn't he?
105.
Sensible
And he
leaves him a
required
2-darter.
170. 66. Jimmy, you require
So an
97.
opening.
Yeah, big intake of breath there from Jimmy Van Schie.
Is this the 24 he won? His week.
73.
Misses. 24's been his
and
friend.
he require 104.
When he won, became a weekly champion, he hit it.
80.
So, Jimmy Van
Jimmy,
Schie is 24 apiece.
24.
And Jimmy to go first. Van Schie takes semi-final number one in an absolute ripper of a game. Andy Davison, you played your part, my mate. What a game of darts that was. This is what the Super Series brings. Super games from players that may not be your household names, but soon will be. What a game of darts that was. Jimmy goes and sees his fans there. They sure do love Jimmy, and there's the numbers. 94-3-2 and 98-9-1 for Andy Davison. He must feel like he's run over a black cat or something so far this evening. 4 from 9 from Jimmy Van Schie on the doubles. 3 from 8 from Andy Davison. But the tail of the tape is the all-important one. It's 4 to Jimmy Van Schie, 3 to Andy Davison. We head into a short break when we bring you semi-final number 2. And more excitement, we hope. It's Shane McGurk taking on Richie Burnett.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only
needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
Game shot on the third leg. Reece
Is that
Robinson.
the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Well, Smith, is it
Darius
a
Labanowski.
9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot.
He gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Just
Darius
like that.
Labanowski.
only needs the one. There you can see.
That she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great dive.
Shot on the first leg, Andreas Harrison.
It's a breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
Shot on the second leg, Ken Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Hello again. Well, breathtaking stuff in that first semi-final before the break there, with Jimmy Van Schie just getting over the line. A 4-3 win against this superb Scotsman, Andy Davidson, who leaves here with his head held high. But Van Schie is through to the final and will have the opportunity to double up on weekly wins here at the Modus Super Series. The second semi-final features Shane McGurk and Richie Burnett, an Irishman against a Welshman. Of course, Burnett, the former world champion. That would be a sensational final, whoever gets through. McGurk is destined, isn't he, to win a week here at the Super Series. He's been trying so hard. Burnett hoping to do it on debut, and Van Schie, of course, looking to double up. The script is set, the stage is set, and the second semi-final is about to get started.
He's done all the hard work. Can he just finish it off? He does indeed. For the match. Tidily done.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to meet the players for our second semi-final. First up, from Ireland, it's Shane McGurk! And his opponent, from Wales, he is the 1995 champion of the world. It's Richie Burnett!
A bit of that characteristic Burnett swagger as he strolls onto the stage. Is he going to be strolling through to the final to take on Jimmy Van Schie in what would, of course, be a box office bout here at the Super Series? Or will Irish eyes be smiling on Shane McGurk, who's still looking for his first weekly win at the Live Lounge? A very tough match against Burnett, but he was brilliant in beating Andy Davidson in his final group game. This man won it 4-0 and hit 3 bullseye finishers in the process. If he can take that form into this semi-final, then Burnett has a real battle on his hands. But he has been there, he's seen it, he's done it, he's got plenty of T-shirts, and he might be getting another one that says winner of the Super Series Week 4 at the end of the evening. So without further ado, let's get this potentially entertaining encounter underway. I will hand you back to Laura and Scott.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. Yeah, as you say, potentially entertaining. I think it very much will be. I think
First leg, it's Shane
for
to
want
throw
of using
first.
a better word, momentum
Game on!
really does seem to be the way of McGurk. I mean, the way he bounced back after the disappointment of losing 4-3 to Mark Durbridge, faced the probably not so tempting prospect of having to beat Andy Davidson. And, wow, he did it in style, 4-0, and secured his place here. Actually topped the group following that win over Davidson. Whereas Richie, he suffered a slight setback in a 4-1 defeat against Van Schie.
Yeah, I totally agree with the McGurk comment there. He sort of came out flying, but what I would say,
140.
I noticed between the two games, the Dudbridge game and the game that he played against Davidson, he's throwing harder. He was very
60.
apprehensive. His throw was not quite as positive. You watch him now; he's throwing it at really high pace, and the faster he
45.
throws, the harder he throws, and more direct he is. And he was definitely very direct in that 4-0 win over Andy Davison.
60. $36.
So both started nicely with treble visits, and now
140.
both have gone off, I was just about to say, but Burnett's returned to the party.
Yeah, the 140 just offers a bit of parity in the leg in terms of their scores.
40.
Yeah, an unfortunate
Richie
bounce out there for McGurk. So
141.
1-for-1 here for Burnett. Would be an early break, and I think a real crowd pleaser if he can hit the 1-for-1, but he can't.
$55. Shane, you require 105.
Treble 15, yeah, not gone there. Back up for treble 18.
Richie require
Not to be this
86.
time, so treble 18 for Richie Burnett. He'll stay there and try for another treble to leave double 7. No, he's gone safe.
61.
To leave himself a dart at the
Shane,
ball.
you require 52.
Not to be this time.
$36. Richie
Wow.
required 25.
Giving up a chance here to break a throw for Burnett. Double 8. His eyes
Shot at
focused
first leg, Richie Burnett.
on the double 8, and you don't need to ask him twice. He'll take it 9 times out of 10.
Second leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, that miss there for Shane McGurk. That could prove to be quite costly as the match progresses. And Richie highlighted the fact that, you know, it is a different format to what you play on the Challenge Tour or what you played on the Pro Tour. You know, it's normally a longer format. A race to 4, it feels very, very cutthroat.
It does indeed.
83. $100.
Yeah, and there's that characteristic kick of the leg from Burnett, just trying to squeeze it over the top.
Yeah, I think I can see the bottom of his feet. I think it's
99.
size 8.
I have heard comments before. I don't quite know sometimes how he doesn't get whiplash or something, doesn't do himself an injury.
97.
He's had it again, but it goes. Like I say, I stood behind him 3 weeks ago doing this, and the biggest leg kick in the world, and all of a sudden
120.
starts in the treble 19 like it was then, and you're thinking, how? If I make the slightest of tweak on my arm on a throw, it goes in a 1. But he can move his whole body, leg up in the air, and it hits a treble 19. It's
42.
fascinating. Fascinating.
A real error there from Richie Burnett. Has left himself on 162, which can't be finished. So Shane McGurk, 6 darts here from 199 to get a break straight back.
134.
Let's put some inroads into that.
$82 then inside the bullseye.
105.
Yeah.
Shane, you
25
require
leaves you a nice
65.
2-darter, so it's McGurk going 25. 15 that is. 10, 1 darter tops.
25.
You could see him thinking
Richie
at it before he even
57.
threw it, couldn't you? He was thinking about it with that last dart.
He was, but once again, is that miss going to prove costly as Richie Burnett now stares down the tops target?
Game shot on a
No
second
problems
leg.
there for
Richie
Burnett.
Burnett.
2-0 to the good.
Yeah, he only just hits the 17 and
Third
then
leg, it's Shane
smacks
to
the
throw
double
first.
top.
Game on.
Well, you couldn't put it more centre if you walked up there and plopped it in with your hand.
Bit of stretching there in the background from Richie.
100.
Yeah. Maybe he has pulled a muscle. Like you suggested how he doesn't get back spasms with what he does. He probably does.
That would definitely be an exercise DVD I'd like to
93.
purchase. Stretching with Richie Burnett.
Translator would be available, of course.
85.
Such a raucous semi-final, this one, is it? It's our last one. Where
100.
lots of noise.
No, but I imagine the ski fans just down there on the front right, they're saving their voices for the
95.
final.
$96.
Yeah, McGurk once again in a good position to put himself down onto a finish.
108.
Yeah, tidy from McGurk there. That's why those long points work so well in darts. You can put a
108.
180 on a pinhead.
Shane, you require 41.
Again, lots of pressure on this.
Game shot on a
And
third
that's much
leg.
sharper there
Shane
from
McGurk.
Shane McGurk.
Fair play to Burnett there. He did all he did to keep the pressure on.
Fourth flag. It's Richie to throw first.
He's a wily
Game
old
on.
character, and he knows exactly what he's doing when he does those things. And if it does get a chance, he then goes in and takes it. And here we go again.
125.
To be.
No, but arguably still in the stronger of the position of the two because, again, he's got the darts here.
140.
Shane McGurk's going to have to find something big to try and wrestle them off, Burnett.
Absolutely, and Burnett really is the king of the quotes in his interviews. I remember another interview he did where he said, yeah, he's earned 2 fortunes, but he spent 3.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
been
that.
his problem. He just comes up with them. They just come out au naturel. He's so good to listen to.
It's very funny, but very dry with it, isn't he?
There's no harm
47.
intended on anybody, is there, when he's having his chats? It's sensational.
Oh, and he's throwing some sensational things as well, averaging just over 90 here at the moment.
99.
In a rather commanding position over Shane McGurk.
I would say he's dictating the pace of the game as well.
140.
Yeah, nice that from McGurk.
Quick.
It's all right, you can't leave yourself on a bogey from there, Rich.
I was going to say, quick glance
Yeah.
over to the scoreboard.
Yeah, can I leave myself on a bogey? No. Oh, just throw it then.
Nearly threw himself over the oche that time.
Absolutely. Just a quality player.
61.
That's
Richie
3
require
bounce outs now for
117.
McGurk. Treble 18s now.
93.
93
Shane, you
leaving
require
24.
113.
So McGurk under some pressure again, but well within his range. He's done a 130 tonight. 92. It's treble 20 for double 16.
97. Richie required 24.
Disappointed with that, but what a great attempt. Don't be disappointed with that, Shane.
Game shot on
Used the first two guys nicely there, and Burnett knew how important that was. Fist pumps as well coming back.
Fifth flag, it's Shane to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, I think he's just
100.
trying to get the moisture off his hands when he's up with the speaker.
I'll leave all those assumptions to you. I'm not sure what he's doing, but if you think he's getting the moisture off his hands, well done you.
100.
I do think, and I don't know what you think, if this does go the way of Richie Burnett, Shane McGurk may look back at this match and just think it's that one that got away. He's had chances in every single leg at a double to actually convert. Could have won 4-0, could have been home and dry.
83.
Yeah. And those are the most frustrating losses, aren't they, to take? Particularly on big moments, on big stages like this. This is
59.
become a must win and a want to win for most players. To come here and win a week here is really good to have on your CV.
Yeah, and it's just that, it's what it brings with it as well.
97.
It's that shot at Champions Week. I think the names that are on that trophy, obviously held currently by Andreas Harrison. He narrowly missed out on place in the Champions Week again, lost last weekend
40.
in the final to Richard Rowlands of Wales.
Yeah, I've been here on a week when Richard Rowlands has been here, not playing. I was commentating, and again, another lovely guy. We went out and had a couple of bites to eat together at
84.
sort of curry house up the road in Italian, and he just a genuinely lovely guy.
But this match, Shane has got all the work to do and desperately
Richie
needed to
required
treble 20 as Richie
137.
looks at 137.
Treble 19 now then to try and lead the tops.
59.
He returns back on 182.
There might be a little bit of pressure on this 78. If McGurk can find another treble.
95.
He can't, and
Richie
just lose the
requires
87.
78.
You'd think he was going to get a dart at it, wouldn't you? Always going to get two. Double six.
66.
So
Shane, you require 87.
opportunity knocks for McGurk.
Yep, now looking at the 20 bed, finds the single for Ball, which has been so kind to him.
62.
Not on this occasion.
Richie requires 12.
He's missed one. He's finally missed one. It's getting closer. It's not there, Rich. That one is.
Shot on the march. Richie Burnett.
Semi-final number 2 goes Richie Burnett's way. He dominated Group A at the start of the week because he wanted to get to Saturday night. Once you get to Saturday night, he wants to make the final. He's done exactly that. Here are the averages. In comparison to the other semi-final, not quite there, but that won't worry Richie Burnett. He's through to the final with his 4-1 win. We will head off to a short break and we will return with that final. Jimmy Van Ski taking on Richie Burnett.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the Bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable.
The match starts to put his team into the final.
And
through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out, that's what he is, Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie Face is through.
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series on finals night. The semi-finals are now, the final is now set. The semi-finals are now complete, and Scott Mitchell has joined me to chat about the evening's action. It's Burnett against Van Schie. They've already played once tonight, but it does have the feel of a really mouth-watering and potentially explosive final, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you know, the thing for me is Richie didn't have that great an average that time. Probably his worst one of the night. So he's still got the good one left in there. Jimmy has been unbelievable all night, really. He's got the crowd have got behind him, his supporters have got behind him, and he's reacted to it. And yeah, we're in for some final here.
Yeah, we're just looking at the end of that match between Burnett and Van Schie earlier. Does him having that experience help him, or is a bit of revenge for Richie going to motivate him?
I think Richie's one of those old school players that don't like people beating him 2 in a row. We all have this little bit. It doesn't matter whether it's the same day, same week. When somebody gets you, we want to get back at them as quick as you can. And Richie has got a big chance now to get back at him here in the final.
Right, let's just recap what's happened this evening. Here are the results from tonight, and we can see there that Richie Burnett started his night with a 4-1 success, but then was beaten 4-1 by Jimmy Van Schie, who also beat Killian McCormack 4-1. A little bit more tricky in the semi-final for Van Schie there, winning it 4-3 in a blockbuster game against Andy Davidson.
Yeah, super, and Laura and I have mentioned it all night, how the darts have been really important on this finals night. Only 2 games have gone against the darts. The bull-up's going to be massive here because Van Schie won that game against Davison because he had the darts. Davison had the higher average and hung in there and had more opportunities probably, or looked like breaking him, but Jimmy got away with it. I think the bull-up is going to be a big importance in this one.
Yeah, we will let you know who wins that bull as soon as we find out. Jimmy Van Schie, he's really played up to the crowd, hasn't he? He's got his little Dutch army, the honorary Dutchman behind us there, and he's kind of revelling in that. It's working for him, isn't it?
We said he's a showman and likes to be watched, and there's no better place. He's got his crowd in, he's playing the game. I don't think he's being derogatory to any other player that he's playing. He's just enjoying the moment and just joining where he's playing, and fair play to him, why not? Richie Burnett is another character, enjoys the moments in different ways. So we've got just one hell of a clash coming up for a final.
Yeah, and we enjoy watching him as well, don't we, Richie Burnett? He's had his little chat with the speaker over there all week. That's been his support. But he's got his own support this evening. He's got his partner with him as well. How big is it to have those sort of comforts with you of the people that love and support you?
It does matter. It does matter a lot. And we know Richie as a character. Laura and I have been just chatting through some of his famous quotes in interviews of the past. And he says what he feels and what comes into his head. And he plays that way as well. Whatever he's feeling at that time, you can more or less see it. But wow, he's some dart player, still doing it at the age of 57. The Welsh fans still love him, but I think every fan in darts still love the fact that he's doing things like this and we can all watch him play.
I asked you before if he'd be motivated by the result earlier on. Could he also be motivated by the amount of support that Van Ski is getting? He is that type of player that can get the bit between his teeth, isn't he, Richie?
Yeah, you don't get older and wiser in this game without learning, and he would have been in this situation many, many times. But he's probably also had the situation where the Welsh guys have been supporting him to the hilt against somebody that may not have had that. But I think it won't matter to him. I don't think it affects his game. I think he just gets on and plays whatever he's got on the day. And then if he isn't enough, it isn't enough. He just goes and shakes you by the hand and says, well done, mate.
Well, we'll talk more about the final in a second, and I'll get your prediction as well. You're not getting away with that. But now let's have a look at who's going to be in action here next week here at the Modus Super Series. And we've got two former series champions in Scott Taylor and Jim McEwen joining Group A. Neil Duff also in action. It's an incredible group that also features Brian Roman. Nolan van Leuven's going to be making her debut in Group B. A 16-year-old sensation. We've had one of those before, Daniel Stevenson in Group C. Scott, that looks like a fantastic lineup, particularly those two series champions in Taylor and McEwen.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor and McEwen, you got Duff in there as well in that Group A. Very typical, very difficult one to come into as a newbie. So they're going to be finding their feet, have to find their feet pretty quickly. But yeah, the interesting inclusion for me is Nolan van Leeuwen, you know, to see her have her debut here. We saw what Bo Greaves did on her debut. So yeah, bring it on. Absolutely.
By the way, that first match on Monday is Taylor against McEwen. So make sure you are tuning in from 9:30 a.m. And I have just had word, Scott, you said the bull would be important. I can tell you Jimmy Van Ski has won the bull. Everything seems to be falling into his lap tonight, doesn't it?
Well, if you're going to ask me for the prediction right now, I'm going to tell you. My head says Jimmy because of the way that he's played all night. His averages have been superb tonight, and every time he has the darts, he keeps winning. But my heart says Richie Burnett has everything in there to do it. So that's my feeling. My head says Jimmy, my heart says Richie.
You're usually fixing fences, Scott, not sitting on them. That's one way of doing that. But what are you expecting? Regardless of the result, what kind of game do you think we're going to get?
I think it could be quite a nervy first leg. I really do. I think, you know, it could be one of those that goes nip and tuck, and it could take time to settle for both of them. Jimmy's been here more recently and done what he's done, so he's still got good memories of that night and the way that he played that night and that feeling. I think that probably should be enough to get him over the line. But you can never rule Richie out, because the better you play, the better Richie plays. He comes with you. So, yeah, if I'm going to be honest, I think my head says Jimmy just nicks it.
No player's going to have the crowd. I think most of the crowd want Jimmy to win, but neither player's got any real battle scars on this stage, have they? So you say a nervy first leg, but you wouldn't expect those nerves to last for long.
I think it's only a nervous first leg because of what's at stake. Winning here on a Saturday night takes you to Champions Week. And that is a big, big feather for anybody to have in their cap. I don't care where you're playing or who you are. To make that Champions Week is the most amazing thing. So you have to win here tonight, and that's why I think it'll be a little bit nervy at the start for both of them.
Right, I'm going to ask you one more time. We've heard what the head says, what the heart says. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to take the trophy tonight?
I think it's going to be Jimmy, just about. I think he's just going to take it 4-3 because he's got the darts.
There we go. You'll make them happy anyway. I'll let you get back to comms. Scott is going to be talking through the action alongside Laura Turner. It is time for the final here at the Super Series.
Van Ski take semi-final number one.
That one in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Modus Live Lounge here in Portsmouth. It's time now to meet our finalists here in week 4. Firstly, can you please welcome to the stage a former weekly winner? From the Netherlands, it's Jimmy van Schie! And his opponent, making his Modus Live Lounge debut. He is the 1995 champion of the world. It's Richie Burnett!
Get ready for some final fireworks here at the Super Series. This game could have a little bit of everything. Jimmy van Schie and Richie Burnett going to go head-to-head for the second time tonight. Well, van Schie got the better of their battle in the group stages earlier on, but at that point, both players were already through. Now, everything is to play for. The trophy, the title, the check, and of course, that coveted place at Champions Week. Will it be Burnett, the Welshman, the pride and the Prince of Wales, on his first ever visit to the Live Lounge here in Portsmouth, or will it be double Dutch for Jimmy van Schie, the towering Netherlands native who won on his debut week in week 6 of Series 7, looking to back it up and get a second consecutive tilt at Champions Week. He's up against one of the most experienced players we've ever had on this stage, world champion in 1995. Will he be a Super Series champion in 2024? Let's find out. I'll hand you back to Scott Mitchell, who's joined Laura Turner.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, a whole week of play, and it all comes down to this. There's one final match which sees the Prince of Wales, Richie Burnett, looking to fell the Dutch sequoia,
First leg,
Jimmy van
it's Jimmy
Schie.
to throw first.
As Chris said, the
Game
first
on!
match tonight did go the way of van Schie. It was 4-1 in his favour, but it's all about that trophy now. That's what counts, and I think I agree with Chris. I think this could have some fireworks, Scott.
Yeah, I think so, but I think
100.
I do think the crowd will be absolutely brilliant in this and not get too involved. Yeah, when the players are hitting big scores, I think 59. They are quite a courteous crowd for me.
It's one of those things, isn't it? When you're invested in a player, it's very hard not to get carried away because, you know, you're backing your player. It's a bit
140.
that kind of experience that you've got where you're all, you know, cheering on your person. But as you say, they have been very respectful. They've allowed the players to play throughout the night.
140.
Yeah, I think I said out there with Murph that I thought if Jimmy van Schie did come out of the blocks, I think Richie would go with him.
100.
I think when you go ton 140 with the first 9 darts of a final, I think you're kind of happy about where it's all going.
100.
Yeah, Richie expected more of himself there, didn't he? Perfect first dart. Treble 17 now. Back up top. Finally 24.
97.
In fairness, that Jimmy didn't kind of have to go the route, didn't have to go for the ball with Burnett back on 202, but I've got the feeling that if that 51 had gone, he would have gone for the ball. I think that is just the way that Jimmy is feeling up there.
139.
No,
Jimmy
I absolutely agree, but
64.
I think once you start doing these things and getting out of your normal routines and habit and not going for the shot, you cause yourself a few problems. Should be 1 dart now then at 32.
Game shot on the first leg, Jimmy van Schie.
Takes it nicely. 1 dart. That
Second
sends a
leg,
message
it's Richie to throw
your
first.
opponent.
Game on.
I have to say, Richie came back into that leg nicely after what was considerably a slow start for him.
134.
You're just drawing on all his experience. Absolutely no need to panic yet. When you do have the darts against you in that opening leg, you know, if you win it, it's great. It's a fabulous bonus, but if you don't, this is now the one that counts for Richie more than
93.
anything. He needs to just keep hold of his darts and had a good start in the leg.
Yeah, well, I say he had a slow start. He scored like 60, and then since then he hasn't missed a treble. So I do apologise if you ever watch this back, Richie. I didn't mean it as that. I just thought
100.
troublous visit at the start.
You've got high expectations, Scott. That's what it is.
Yeah, it never happens when I'm up there, so why should I expect everybody else to do it?
Because it's a lot easier sitting in this chair talking about it than being up there and doing it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
$60.
I'd say earlier about playing Richie Burnett. I'd worked out now that I don't really want to watch him. Don't mind hearing the scores. I don't want to watch him. And I'm watching Jimmy here, and he's not taking a lot of notice of what Richie Burnett is doing at all.
83.
Keeping his head down, ignoring what's going on. And I think that's the way forward with this. And you can see him in the background, just having a little look up to see how many darts he's thrown.
86.
Yeah, well, he has played him. I think this is the fourth game they've played so far this week. Fifth game they've played this week. It is 2 apiece.
96.
In terms of the
Richie
outcomes, and it is the last 2 that went the
121.
way of Van Skeet.
Yeah, if you're going to have momentum going into a game, that's what you want.
I think for me, it just probably goes back to what you're saying, that he's kind of learnt how to play against Richie and not get wrapped up
Jimmy, you
in
require 89.
everything else.
Yeah, very much so. But it's on 44, but 89 here. The double 16 was kind in the last leg. Hit it with 1 dart.
$57.
Went for the bottom side of the
Richie
double
require
16 there.
44.
Too close with the first one.
Yeah, the route for Richie. 4 foot tops, and I think that felt good. But no, not in, so back for 10s.
24.
That one didn't feel good
Jimmy,
at all.
you
I think you
require
can see by the look on his
32.
face, and it's a chance gone begging.
It's not always the easiest thing to recover when you actually do that walk, and as players, we've all done it copious amounts of times. Yeah, Jimmy not happy with the light.
16.
And that's why.
Richie
Actually stopped there and asked himself to come on. I think if he'd have just thrown it with a bit of flow and a bit of rhythm, which is how he's been throwing all day or all evening, but he knows the importance. This one is very important.
No score.
He got further away.
Jimmy, you require 16.
I think Richie there just mouthing the word Richard, telling himself off.
Game shot on the second leg. Jimmy Van
Yeah,
Schie.
Jimmy Van Schie eventually does find the double.
Oh, we're both over 100
Third leg. It's
at the
Jimmy
end of
to throw
that first leg, and now after
Game
leg
on.
2, he can't believe it. He can't believe what he's done there.
100. $100. $140.
You feel that Jimmy's now in his stride, don't you?
Yeah, not just on the dartboard. That was a proper strut up to get those darts out and back. Sense of urgency there.
97.
4 strides for you, 3 strides for me, and 2 strides for Jimmy. That was.
140.
Yeah, when they go well for Jimmy and when he's feeling good, he has got that kind of bit of swagger about him up on the stage.
call it good arrogance. When I say to people, a nice, you know, you have to have a certain amount of arrogance to play the game anyway at a decent level. And I call it a nice arrogance when somebody's controlling the board.
105. Richie require 164.
Well, this is going to be big. It's not going to be big.
140. Jimmy, you require
darts
16.
from Burnett. Jimmy Vansky, after what was a dodgy leg, then comes in with a 13-dart holder throw. And Burnett still ruined those 3 darts at double 10, still
Fourth
shaking
flag,
his head.
it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, all Jimmy is thinking is just get the job done, but Burnett now having to draw on all his experience.
108.
And that he's doing. Great start.
Man has class. You don't do that when you're 3-0 down unless you've got a little bit about you. And we know that he's had a bit about him for many,
60.
many years. And he still loves playing the game. We've watched interviews this week telling everybody how much he loves the game. And you've got to be a special player to be hitting 180s with your first row 3-0 down.
140.
140 there, backing that 180 up. Just sending just a little signal here to Vansky that he's not ready to go anywhere yet.
$140.
180, 140, 140. Super darts.
59.
From Burnett.
Richie require 41.
He has had shots at double already in the match. Hasn't been able to convert,
Game
but
shot on the
absolutely
fourth
no
flag,
issues
Richie
this
Burnett.
time. An 11-dart holder throw keeps him well and truly in the match, but now has
Fifth
to find a
flag,
way to
it's
break.
Jimmy to throw first. Game on.
Sat on a double after 12 the last leg.
100.
Just that one leg he had on his own throw. If he'd hit that double 10, he'd be set her at 2-2 now.
81.
Now has to start finding 2 treble visits, you feel, as he did the last leg.
$81.
Jimmy just actually acknowledging his own darts halfway through the throat. He really is up for this final.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to do.
125.
I don't know whether he's pleased that he managed to hit the board with the last one, or whether he's frustrated that it didn't go. He's just had his mate, the speakers there, has just told him, "You did all right there, boy."
He does give us
60.
some real moments, Richie Burnett. That was one of them.
He is super entertainment.
$100.
And again, found that first treble, disappointed not to find a second. Does keep his nose in front here.
Next 6 darts from here are big moments in the direction of the way this game is going to go.
$89. Jimmy, you
Yeah,
require
118 left he had there. A big 18 was what he was looking for. And as you can see what he feels about it, he's still gestating with himself.
$60. Richie require 106.
Get to have a ton-topping finish from Burnett in tonight's finals. And you've got a feeling, you know, this is one you can see him really geeing himself up here.
I think he's still fuming because he missed last time round. He wanted to leave himself 100 for that reason. But he did himself before he went to the board. You could see him being so angry with himself still for not hitting the 18. And maybe that's why he hit that big one.
66.
He's
Jimmy,
left
you
himself
require 100.
tops, but it's all about Jimmy Van Schie now.
Well, pulls it into the 5, so needs to find the treble 19 and does for double 19.
62. Richie, you require 40.
Not to be this occasion here for Van Schie. So Burnett, once again, back to bring it within 1. Double 10. This proved troublesome earlier on, but not this time.
Richie Burnett
is hanging on in there. It's mistakes and errors from Van Schie
it's
that
Richie
allowed
to
him a
throw
couple of
first.
opportunities. And
Game on.
now Burnett's got the darts to make it a level match.
Yeah, I said the 6 darts, the next 6 darts were going to be important, but it turned out to be 9. Here he comes now.
180.
I mean, you must have been in that situation before. I know I have. That you're 3-0 up. It's first to 4. You're kind of cruising, and all of a sudden you see your opponent. You make a couple of small errors just at the wrong time, and see your opponent coming back at you bit by bit. It becomes slightly soul-destroying. You start to panic.
Panic does set in, yes.
140.
Done a big leg kick there, but I think he's twisted his knee. I don't know what's what's going on there.
He's not been to himself. But
108.
He's like a footballer there. He's trying to run it off, I think, in the background. I said stride to the left, stride to the right.
That's another DVD I'd pay for. Dancing with Richie Burnett.
140.
Well, we said you might see a few things you wouldn't normally see.
99.
No, and there we go. He's
Richie
gone 180,
require
140,
41.
140 again in this final. He'll go 9 for 32. He polished it off for 11 last time.
$25. Jimmy, you require 164.
So Burnett comes back for the 16 and a chance to make it 3-3. And boy, oh boy, has he worked hard to get back into this game, you have to say.
81.
It's now
Richie
Van Schie
requires
making
16.
the mistakes.
Game shot on a sick flag. Richie Burnett.
And the Van Schie fans there actually
7
giving
foot
a little
final leg.
nice
It's
round
Jimmy
of
to throw
applause.
first.
Very
Game
respectful.
on.
Well done to them. They've been entertainment as well this evening. The Van Schie fans here at the Live Lounge.
140.
Arguably, you could say this really has been a game of two halves because Van Schie just raced into that 3-0 lead, but Burnett's done everything in his power and capitalised on key moments where Van Schie's made errors. Now we're at a level game, and you kind of called it. You thought it might go the way of Van Schie,
81.
but only just. And anything's now possible from this position.
He needs more trebles yet. Because Burnett will come back with them.
60.
And it gets to a point sometimes in these moments where you try to throw a little bit on the safe side, where you don't go a little bit too erratic, but then sometimes you're not attacking enough. And it's Van Schie at that moment in the game.
49.
And I think to get the best out of Van Schie, because of the way he throws, you know, when he throws hard and aggressive, that's when you get his best results.
Absolutely.
100.
Last dart, dagger to the heart of Richie Burnett.
Yeah, you feel a max is kind of required here for Burnett just to keep him within touching distance of Van Schie.
100.
Concentration on his face as he throws Burnett, and then the disappointment when he knows it's not got where it is. But Van Schie now shrugged his shoulders. He knows he's in. 25 coming in.
105.
Super darts. 96 after 12. 100 per throw, basically, for the first 4 throws is all he could ask of himself. And that needed 2
60.
trebles to leave himself a chance. So a minimum of 6 from here from Van Schie.
Couldn't find the treble, so just looking to set up.
He's going to try and leave double 18, his
60.
favourite double.
Sometimes a risky play, but has played off. You should back yourself for hitting that single 20, but these are edgy moments.
Yeah, Reggie moments, but
96.
he's been here before.
Jimmy,
he knows the feeling.
36.
So double 18.
Yeah.
It's a win for Jimmy Van Schie. He is your Series 8 Week 4 champion. What a game of darts it was. We felt it could be down to who had the dart, but Jimmy Van Schie held his nerve in that final leg. He does the business. He heads to Champions Week. Richie Burnett may rue the chance, but what a man he's been this week. What a breath of fresh air, Richie Burnett. What a breath of fresh air he's been for the Super Series, and we look forward to him being back. But tonight is all about this man, Jimmy Van Schie, your Series 8 Week 4 winner. There are his fans, and now it's realised. Look at the averages there, 90 for Van Schie and 97 for Burnett. And it's the 3 from 11 stats that's cost him, but we're now head down to a reaction to our winning champion, I think, with Chris Murphy.
Just get you there. Jimmy Van Schie, a champion once again here at the Super Series. Jimmy, just try and sum up how you're feeling.
Mate, to be honest, after the start of this week, I only played great like one day, and I know I have to, like last time, I played the best darts in the finals night, and I think I've done it again. So, mate, this feeling, and of course the guys that are here, man, thank you all, man. Appreciate it, really, appreciate it.
How did this happen? How did you get so many fans here in Portsmouth?
To be honest, mate, I was having a piss, I think, and I went to the toilet. I saw them. I said, "We're cheering for you." I said, "Come on then, guys." And then after that, when I won it, and I said, "Oh, I hope they come back." And I saw them here, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a wonderful night again." And see what happened. I'm over the moon.
Just give us a word on the night itself, the games you've played, the final you played against Richie Burnett. He really came back at you. It was hard work, wasn't it? Hard earned.
To be honest, when I came 2-0 in front, I think I was a bit fortunate when he missed the double, and then I went 2-0 up to the break. I hold my own leg, and then I started thinking. It was in my mind, and that was my mistake. And then when I started off the last leg really good, and he just, was a bit unlucky. I'm happy to get over the line, mate.
Right, I'm going to let you have your moment. Let them have their moment as well. If you just want to get there and take a bit of a run up. And once again, for the second time here at the Modus Super Series, your weekly winner is Jimmy Van Schie. Jimmy, you can go and celebrate with your fans. Scott and Laura are joining me. Scott, fantastic evening. The fans came out to see Jimmy Van Schie. They've got what they wanted.
Yeah, did I get a prediction right as well? He might win it by the odd leg at the end. Yeah, absolutely. He was superb all night, and like I say, he bounced off the crowd, and that's what did it for him. And any player knows it's lovely to have a crowd in with you, and good for Jimmy.
It absolutely was, and look, he's lapping it up, deservedly so.
Yeah, very much so. You know, the noise in here has been absolutely brilliant, but what I will say, they've all been so respectful. Everyone's had their opportunity to play, and we did wonder as they go again, but we did really wonder, didn't we, how he'd perform in front of a crowd with the support, and wow, he's been absolutely outstanding tonight.
Yeah, and it just shows that, Laura just said it, they started cheering for Andy Davidson, so even though that table in particular had their favourites, they have been respectful, and it's made for a great night, hasn't it?
Look, we saw them applauding 180s from Richie Burnett as well. They're in the final, so that goes to show what a good bunch of people they are. And that's all you ask for as a player. You just want a bit of respect to allow you to play. Doesn't matter that you've got everybody's against you. Just let yourself play, and that's what's happened tonight.
Right, he got his moment. Let's just take a look at that moment. Jimmy Van Schie winning the final there against Richie Burnett. Incredible stuff in getting through, and he's been wanting this moment again. He had that experience before, and he really wants it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I just think for me, he did struggle throughout the week at times, and you could visibly see him struggling at times. But tonight, everything just fell into place. And I think the key game for me was actually the first time he played Richie Burnett. I think that really set a real firework underneath him. He was like, that belief that we know him to be, you know, to have so often. You could just see it. He was strutting around the stage. There was a bit of peacockery. He was engaging with the crowd. And it was great to see, and you've just got to say, you know, many congratulations. Coming here and doing it 2 times in a row, that's no mean feat.
And Scott, for Richie Burnett, Laura mentioned the way that Jimmy was strutting around. In the end, Richie was really frustrated, wasn't in that final leg?
Yeah, he was. I mean, I thought he twisted a kneecap out or something at one point there. He kicked his leg back so high, and then I think he fell off the side of the oche. And I was worried for his for him getting injured there, but look, he's such a class act. He's such a great person to be around. I really don't know many players within the game that dislike him, and they love seeing him up here. The fans have loved seeing him up here tonight, and let's hope he decides he wants to come back, and we go give him an invite, and I'd love to watch him again.
This is a small arena in relative terms in comparison to Ali Pali and other big venues, but for Jimmy Van Schie, he's living a dream, isn't he? And he's done it twice now.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, he set out his stall. He wanted to be back here. He wanted to have another crack at Champions Week, and he's done everything in his power to do so. Like you say, the Modus Super Series, what it has done for players like Tom Sykes, for players like Andy Davidson, for players like Jimmy Van Schie, it's given them that platform to be noticed, to have those opportunities, to play in front of cameras, and they want more and more of it. And obviously they're not all going to get it, and we saw that. It was very close between him and Davidson, and who absolutely played fantastic himself tonight. But it was Jimmy that did the damage and did the business, and it's him back at Champions Week.
Yeah, and that's the next step for him now, isn't it? He's won twice on his week, but getting through to a grand finals on Champions Week, that must be the next target now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we're week 4 now. He's got a long time to wait now, hasn't he? But I think, yes, it gives you something to look forward to. It's like as a player qualifying for a World Championships or whatever, sometimes you've got a long wait until it gets there. But then you know what you've got when it gets there. You know what you've got to do. You know that you're there, and you know you've got to put the hours in on that practice board to get those moments like he's had tonight.
And again, just want a little word for how he's kind of harnessed this support here from what he did the first time. He mentioned how it came, just a quick comment off the cuff, and suddenly he's got an army of fans. But that could keep growing. It could become something of a cult hero here.
Absolutely. I mean, it only takes a small catalyst for you to get kind of noticed, and obviously we all know what it was with regards to Jimmy, and he's grown this fan base in this local area. But what I like about it as well is he takes the time to go out, he speaks to the fans, he shows that he obviously appreciates their support, and he's building up this big old fan base local to the Super Series, and he's using it to very, very good effect, I will say that.
Look, Scott, I don't know if it's coming home this summer. He's going home, but when he returns here, it will feel like something of a homecoming for him, won't it?
Well, he's got nothing but great memories here, It's kind of weird what a venue can do for you when you've been playing well there. There's a little venue in Surrey that I absolutely love, but the 5 years before that, I was hopeless, and I've still got great memories from it. And Jimmy's building those memories here, and a lot of other players are as well. They enjoy coming back here, and they enjoy playing, and you see the best of them when they're here.
Absolutely do. Well, thank you both for your company. I'll let you go home now, but thanks for your company tonight. It's been a fantastic night here at the Super Series. Another really special evening. Jimmy Van Schie, similar to last time, winning in style, but it's going to get even better next week. So do make sure you join us from 9:30 a.m. on Monday, when 2 of our former series champions will collide. We'll see you then.
Game shot and the match. Score!